So there I was, waking up in what I can only describe as a house that lost a fight with time itself. Dirt walls, holes everywhere, wind blowing through like it pays rent. Yep, still not a dream. I really did fall asleep gaming and woke up in ancient China on hard mode. Back in my old life, I was just a regular dude, eating snacks, playing games, flirting with girls online. Nothing fancy, but hey, at least my walls didn't have ventilation problems. One night, I passed out at my desk mid-game, and boom, isekai'd into the Dalong dynasty. No truck needed, just poor sleep habits. Kids, this is why your mom tells you to go to bed on time. My backstory here: absolute tragedy speedrun. Mom died giving birth to me. Dad said, save the baby, because apparently that's what you do in ancient times. Then Dad fell off a cliff chopping wood 2 years ago. So now it's just me, 20 years old, orphan, broke, living in a mud brick house with a nice yard. Sounds like a protagonist setup, right? Except the fridge is empty and I'm about 3 days from starving. But then, oh boy, Wong Uncle comes banging on my door yelling about how today is wife distribution day. Yeah, you read that right. The government literally hands out wives. The Dalong dynasty is so desperate for babies that they just assign women to single guys like it's some kind of marriage lottery. In my old world, guys can't even get a text back, and here the government is delivering girlfriends to your doorstep. What a time to be alive. Well, almost alive. Still starving. I didn't even eat breakfast. Just threw on my robes and sprinted to the village entrance like my life depended on it. Which, emotionally, it kind of did. 3 of us single guys lined up waiting. The other 2 were dark, skinny farmer dudes built like beef jerky, tough and sun-dried. Meanwhile, I'm standing there looking like a pale bookworm who's never touched dirt. Dad never made me work because I was always sickly, and he even sent me to school. So yeah, I stuck out like a swan in a chicken coop. Then the bride convoy showed up. Leading the pack was Cloud Lady, this older woman in a red dress, swinging a fancy fan, hips swaying like she owned the whole road. Behind her, 5 women. The first 2 were built like tanks, strong arms, wide shoulders, could probably plow a field with their bare hands. Solid marriage material in this economy. But the last 3? Oh, my God. White skin, tiny waists, curves that even their ugly burlap clothes couldn't hide. I was expecting government-issue leftovers, like clearance rack wives nobody wanted. Instead, I got 3 absolute bombshells. My jaw nearly hit the dirt road. Here's the problem, though. This dynasty charges a head tax for every person in your household. More people, more tax. Can't pay? Men get enslaved into the army. Women get sold to brothels. Even the emperor pays his own head tax. This place does not play around. So the 2 farmer bros took one look at the pretty girls, cried inside, and picked the strong ones. Because what good is a beautiful wife when you're both dead from starvation? Survival first, romance never. That left me with the 3 gorgeous girls. And Wong Uncle was like, you got anyone else? My nephew can barely feed himself. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Uncle. That's when the 3 girls panicked. See, I was their last stop. If nobody picked them today, straight to the brothel. So they started fighting over me like I was the last bowl of rice at a famine buffet. Pick me, I'll do anything. No. Pick me, I eat less. They were basically writing their resumes on the spot. My heart was breaking. These poor girls were about to cry. And look, I'm a modern gentleman. I can't watch pretty girls suffer. I wanted to save all 3. But 3 wives means triple-stacked taxes that would absolutely destroy me. I'd be in the army before dinner. I want them all. I can afford none of them. This is the worst math problem I've ever faced. And right when my brain was about to short-circuit from the impossible choice, ding dong, a system notification popped up in my head. Marry wives, get rich, more kids, more blessings, system activated. Oh, so now the cheat code shows up. Couldn't have loaded 5 minutes earlier when I was debating whether to eat my shoe for breakfast, huh? So the system showed up. And honestly, not even surprised. I'm a transmigrator. Having a cheat system is basically part of the starter pack. Like getting a free phone case when you buy a new phone. Expected. But this system's name cracked me up. Marry wives, get rich, more kids, more blessings. Basically, the more women I marry and babies I make, the richer and luckier I get. Money, skills, items, even magical good luck, all from putting a ring on it. In my old world, marriage makes you broke. Here, it's literally an investment strategy. My financial advisor is Cupid. And get this, if I have enough kids, I'll be so lucky I could trip over gold in the street and dodge lightning on the same day. Bad things just stop happening. Every disaster turns into an opportunity. It's like having permanent plot armor powered by romance. Back in the modern world, this system would be useless. One wife max, buddy, that's the law. But in the Dalong dynasty, no limit, baby. The government is begging people to marry more. It's like someone designed this cheat code specifically for this world. The stars aligned. The math is mateing. And right in front of me, 3 beautiful, desperate women about to be sold to a brothel if I don't pick them. The universe basically gift-wrapped my power-up and put a bow on it. Hey kid, hurry up and choose already. Cloud Lady was getting impatient. Wong Uncle grabbed my arm, all worried. Just wait until next year, these ones aren't practical. Translation, they're pretty but useless on a farm, and you'll starve. Olmi would have listened. Olmi was scared of taxes. But Numi? Numi has a system. I looked Cloud Lady dead in the eyes and said, can I take all 3? The silence was beautiful. Cloud Lady froze like someone hit her pause button. Wong Uncle looked at me like I just volunteered to fight a bear with a spoon. The 2 farmer dudes who picked the strong wives? Their jaws dropped so hard I heard them hit the ground. Everyone was thinking the same thing. This boy has lost his entire mind. And look, I get it. 3 wives means triple-stacked taxes that even rich families can't handle. And I'm so broke my house is basically a suggestion. Picking 1 wife was already financial suicide. 3 is like financial suicide doing backflips off a cliff. But here's my logic, and it's bulletproof. I can't afford 1 wife's tax anyway. So whether I pick 1 or 3, I'm equally dead. Might as well die rich in wives, right? Go big or go home. And if the system works, I won't die at all. And if it doesn't work, well, at least I'll have company in the army. You really want all 3? Cloud Lady asked, like she was giving me one last chance to be sane. All 3. Wong Uncle was fuming. You fool. He looked at me like I was his dead friend's idiot son, which, technically, I am. Poor guy couldn't even watch. He just shook his head, muttered something sad, and walked back to the village. Couldn't bear to witness my spectacular self-destruction. But Cloud Lady? Oh, she was thrilled. See, her job performance depends on placing all the girls. Unplaced girls go to brothels, and that counts as a miss on her record. I just cleared her inventory in 1 transaction. I'm basically her employee of the month. She whipped out 3 marriage certificates faster than a fast food cashier. I stamped all 3. Boom, boom, boom. Married times 3. Speedrun world record. And my system went absolutely nuts. Ding. Congratulations. Reward. Dragon Tiger Vitality Pill. Nice. Sounds like I won't be tired tonight. Ding. Congratulations. Reward. Max level blacksmith skills. Oh, so I can make stuff now? Money printer goes BRRR. Ding. Congratulations. Reward. Tiger hunting fist technique. Wait, I can fight too? I went from starving orphan to skilled craftsman warrior in 3 signatures. I was grinning like an idiot, but I kept it cool. Can't exactly explain to everyone that my invisible video game interface just gave me superpowers for getting married. All right, ladies, let's go home. First words to my 3 new wives. Smooth? No. Romantic? Absolutely not. But effective? 100%. They just grabbed their little bundles, literally everything they owned tied in cloth, and followed me like baby ducks. And you know what? They looked grateful. Grateful. To marry the broke guy with the crumbling house. Because the alternative was a brothel. I'm not Prince Charming. I'm just better than the worst option. The bar was underground, and I barely stepped over it. But they didn't seem to mind. Apparently, I'm easy on the eyes compared to the local sun-dried farmer boys, and I didn't look at them like they were defective merchandise. That's enough to win hearts in the Dalong dynasty. Romance standards here are on the floor, and I'm still the best option in the room. So there I was, 20 years old, walking home with 3 wives, 3 system rewards, 0 food in the kitchen, and absolutely no plan beyond. Trust the magical marriage app in my brain. Greatest Tuesday of my life. My house is at the edge of the village. No neighbors. Just me, a little stream, some wildflowers, and absolute poverty. Real estate listing would say, charming countryside retreat with open concept ventilation and minimalist interior. Translation, the walls have holes, and there's nothing inside. My dad picked this spot because he was a blacksmith, and nobody wants to live next to a guy hammering metal at sunrise. Fair enough. He was also a refugee who wandered here during a famine, so it's not like he had first pick of the neighborhood. When my 3 new wives saw the house, their faces went white. Like, visibly white. I could practically hear their thoughts. We chose this over the brothel, but bless their hearts, they clenched their jaws and committed. Respect. These girls have more spine than my walls have bricks. I brought them inside and said, "Welcome home, wives." They blushed and stuttered. Husband. Like anime characters. Adorable. Then I said I'd go cook dinner. You know, make it a little wedding celebration. All 3 of them jumped up and started fighting over who gets to cook. 3 women competing to do housework for me. In my old world, guys can't even get their roommate to wash a single dish. I used to complain about transmigrating, but right now? Absolutely phenomenal. No notes. 5 stars. But I actually needed the kitchen to myself. Not for cooking, for claiming my system rewards. So I told them to sit down and relax. They were so touched by this basic act of decency that they nearly cried again. The bar for husbands in this dynasty is literally in hell. Okay, reward time. Reward 1. Dragon Tiger Vitality Pill, a glowing red pill just materialized in my hand. Out of thin air. Like a video game item drop, but in real life. The description said it would give me a body full of endless energy and strength. Which, I definitely need. Because I just married 3 women, and I've been a sickly noodle-armed bookworm my entire life. If you catch my drift. The math wasn't looking good for tonight. I popped it like candy. Immediate regret. My whole body inflated like a balloon. Then came pain. Oh God, the pain. Like every bone and muscle was being torn apart and rebuilt from scratch. I almost screamed. But then suddenly it felt amazing. Like sliding into a warm bath made of pure comfort. Pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure. My body couldn't decide if it was being tortured or pampered. Absolute roller coaster. When it was over, I looked exactly the same on the outside. Still pale, still pretty. But inside, I felt like I could bench press a horse. Unlimited energy. The kind of energy that makes you want to run through a wall just because you can. Tonight was going to be very productive. Reward 2. Max level blacksmith skills. This one just downloaded straight into my brain like a software update. 1 second I'm a guy who's never held a hammer. Next second I've got centuries of forging experience crammed into my skull. Swords, spears, farming tools, hidden weapons, mechanical gadgets. I know how to make all of it. At master level. Day 1. And here's the beautiful part. My dead dad was a blacksmith. His forge, his anvil, his tools. All sitting right there in the yard, collecting dust. I used to look at that stuff and feel nothing. Now I look at it and my hands are itching. I could pick up a random chunk of scrap metal and turn it into a legendary blade. This is my money printer. The Dalong dynasty is obsessed with martial arts. Swordsmen and warriors will pay mountains of gold for a good weapon. And I just became the best blacksmith alive without swinging a hammer once. Those head taxes? Pocket change. I'm about to be the arms dealer of ancient China. Reward 3. Tiger hunting fist technique. My brain got teleported to some training dimension where I literally just punched tigers. Every day? For what felt like centuries. Wake up, punch tiger. Lunch break, punch tiger. Before bed, punch bigger tiger. I became Wu Song on steroids. That legendary guy who killed a tiger with his bare hands and became famous forever. And I need this. Because in this dynasty, being rich without being strong is basically painting a target on your back. Righteous, martial artists love robbing wealthy people and calling it justice. Oh, you have money? You must be evil. Let me heroically steal everything you own. That's their whole business model. Plus, with 3 beautiful wives, some creepy flower-picking bandit is absolutely going to show up eventually. Can't have that. So the system gave me the perfect starter kit, body upgrade, money-making skill, and combat ability. It's like a character creation screen where someone maxed out every stat for me. Now, I checked the kitchen. We had exactly 1 asset left, an old hen. Our last chicken. The retirement fund. The emergency reserve. She was supposed to lay eggs to keep me alive. I looked at that chicken. The chicken looked at me. I thought about my 3 new wives waiting in the living room for their wedding dinner. Sorry, girl. You've been drafted into the wedding feast. I wrung that chicken's neck and started cooking the most pathetic yet most meaningful wedding banquet in history. 1 chicken, Zero side dishes for people. In my old world, weddings cost hundreds of thousands. Mine cost one elderly hen. But you know what? My wives were more moved by this sad little chicken dinner than any bride at a five-star hotel reception. Oh, and one more thing. As I was cooking, I couldn't stop glancing toward the living room where my three wives were sitting, because I'd just learned a fist technique called tiger hunting fist, and coincidentally, I had three lovely tigers waiting at home who needed some hands-on attention later tonight. The fist technique is for self-defense, obviously. Obviously. One pot of chicken soup. One bowl of yellow millet rice. That's it. That's the wedding banquet. Gordon Ramsay would have a heart attack. But my three wives? They cried. Full waterworks. Tears streaming down their beautiful faces like someone just proposed with a diamond ring instead of a dead chicken. I panicked. Whoa, 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 why are you crying? Is it bad? Are you homesick? Did I undercook the chicken? No. They sniffled. We're just so moved. You're so good to us, husband. I almost laughed. Good to them. I fed them one chicken and they think I'm husband of the year. In my old world, a guy could buy dinner, flowers, movie tickets, and dessert and still get ghosted. Here I served poverty soup and got crowned king of romance. The standards are so different it's giving me whiplash. Don't be silly, I said. I'm your husband. Being nice is the bare minimum. Sorry, the house is a dump. We don't mind at all. They shook their heads so fast I thought they'd get dizzy. You didn't reject us. How could we reject anything? Man, these girls really had it rough before me. So we ate and talked, and talked, and talked. Started at noon, didn't finish until sunset. 4 hours of dinner conversation. We basically speed ran an entire relationship's worth of getting to know you over one chicken. Let me introduce the squad. Wife 1, Yi Xiaoro. The tall one. Gentle, elegant, gives off rich girl fallen from grace energy. Her family used to be well off, but got wrecked by some disaster. Now she's alone in the world. Basically a tragic backstory princess. She's the one who shyly put food on my plate first. Melted my heart instantly. Wife 2, Su Xiaoxiao. Not as tall, but what she lacks in height, she makes up for in generosity. Very generous. Abundantly generous. Let's just say her heart is enormous and leave it there. Volunteered for kitchen duty immediately. A woman of priorities. Wife 3, Wang Nyunyo. Tiny. Like, suspiciously tiny. She's got this baby face with chubby cheeks that makes her look like she's 12, but on a petite little body that's, well, a different kind of appealing. She's the simple, cute one of the group. Pocket-sized wife. 3 wives, 3 completely different flavors. Getting even one girl this pretty in my old life would have required divine intervention. I got 3 in one afternoon. This transmigration thing, best accident of my life. No regrets. 0. Negative regrets. Now, the evening situation. My house has 1 bedroom. 1 bed. 1 candle. Nothing else. Not even a chair. I brought all 3 wives to the bedroom and watched their faces turn red enough to light up the room without the candle. The math was doing itself in their heads. 1 bed plus 4 people equals. Oh my. Before anyone could panic, I apologized. Sorry, ladies, we're too poor for extra beds. You'll have to share with me. Wrong move. They got more emotional. We don't mind. You saved us from the brothel. This is paradise, and I could tell they meant it. These girls had already secretly decided that if I couldn't pay taxes and got sent to the army, they'd kill themselves rather than let anyone separate them from me. That's how grateful they were. Over 1 chicken dinner and a not terrible attitude. The loyalty in this world is insane. I literally just met these women and they're ready to die for me. Meanwhile, in the modern world, people ghost each other after 3 dates because the other person chewed too loud. I hugged all 3 of them at once. 3 different perfumes mixing together. 3 soft bodies pressing against me. This is what peak existence feels like. Scientists should study this moment. So, shall we? Consummate the marriage. 3 tiny, s. 3 bowed heads. 3 tomato red faces. I blew out the candle from across the room with 1 big breath. Thanks, vitality pill, and carried them to bed one by one. What happened next? Well, let's just say the tiger hunting fist technique was not the combat skill I put to use that night. The dragon tiger vitality pill, though, absolutely worth it. Every penny, every ounce of pain from that transformation. That pill turned me from a guy who'd be winded climbing stairs into an Olympian. I fought on that battlefield, bed, until sunrise. 3 rounds? No, 3 campaigns. When I finally opened my eyes the next morning, the sun was already high. My wives were gone from the bed, sheets neatly made, and I just lay there grinning at the ceiling like the happiest man in any dynasty, past or present. All those years in the modern world? Wasted. Playing video games when I could have been. Living like this. I got up with fire in my belly. Not just from the amazing night, from determination. I've got 3 incredible women counting on me now. Head taxes are coming. If I can't pay, I go to the army and they go to hell. Not happening. Not on my watch. I walked outside and saw the most beautiful sight. All 3 wives already working. Xiao washing clothes, hanging them up with a smile. Xiao in the kitchen cooking breakfast. Naturally, the one with the biggest heart handles the food. And little Nyonyo was in the yard on her hands and knees, digging up dirt to make a vegetable garden. 3 women, 3 jobs, 0 arguments. Just happy faces everywhere. In my old world, getting a roommate to take out the trash requires a group meeting and a chore wheel. Here, 3 wives just spontaneously organized themselves into a perfect household management team on day 1. No discussion needed. Husband, you're awake. Xiao beamed at me like I was the sun itself. Breakfast will be ready soon, Xiao called from the kitchen. My heart was so full it could burst. Time to earn some money. I walked over to Dad's old blacksmith forge, grabbed the flint, and lit that bad boy up. The tools were rusty, the setup was basic, and the materials were garbage. But I've got max-level blacksmith skills downloaded directly into my brain. I could forge a masterpiece out of a tin can. Let's get this bread. Or in ancient China terms, let's get this millet. Husband, are you going to make something? Little Nyonyo came bouncing over, dirt on her hands from digging the garden, eyes big and curious. Yep, forging a sword. A sword? Husband, you're so amazing. This girl acted like I just said I was building a rocket. Apparently the blacksmith in her old village could only make hoes and shovels. Swords? Way above his pay grade, because farming tools just need to be heavy and blunt, but a weapon needs to actually be good. It's like the difference between making a paper airplane and building a jet engine. Totally different skill tier. I tapped her on the nose. Obviously, I'm amazing. She giggled with those crescent moon eyes, and I swear my heart gained 10 years of lifespan from the cuteness alone. Then Xiao walked over. My first wife. The one from a formerly rich family. And unlike innocent little Nyonyo, she understood what sword forging meant. She knew the economics. A blacksmith who can make weapons in a dynasty obsessed with martial arts? That's not just a job, that's a gold mine. Head taxes? Solved. Poverty? Over. Starvation? Cancelled. She started crying again. Nyonyo was confused. Big sister, why are you crying now? She's happy crying, I explained, putting down my tools to wipe Xiao's tears. Listen, I brought you all home. I'm going to take care of you. No more suffering. That's a promise, she nodded through the tears. This woman went through her entire family falling apart, ended up alone in the world, almost got shipped to a brothel, and now some broke dude with a rusty forge is telling her everything will be okay. And she believed me, because she had no one else to believe in. I really can't let these girls down. Food's ready, Xiao yelled from the kitchen. My second wife, the queen of the cooking department. Naturally, the woman with the most generous proportions, is in charge of provisions. It just makes sense. She's built for the role. Spiritually, we sat down to leftover chicken soup plus some wild vegetables the girls picked from around the yard. In the modern world, this is called sad leftovers. In the Dalong dynasty, this is basically Christmas dinner. Halfway through, Xiao got nervous and said, Husband, we're almost out of grain, and we have no salt left. Translation, we're about to starve. Don't worry about it, I said, cool as a cucumber. I'll handle it. Food, salt, taxes, your husband's got this. I've said some version of, don't worry, I got this, about 15 times in 2 days. Having 3 wives means delivering the same motivational speech 3 times. It's like being a manager with 3 employees who all need individual pep talks. Exhausting? Sure. But would I trade this problem for being single? Absolutely not. After breakfast, I got to work. The forge situation was rough. Dad's tools were rusted. The only fuel was basic wood charcoal, way weaker than coal, can't reach the high temperatures you need for serious metalwork. And my raw materials? A few half-finished hoe heads. That's it. I'm trying to forge a sword out of garden tool scraps and campfire fuel. Any normal blacksmith would look at this setup and cry. Maybe quit. Maybe become a farmer instead. But I'm not normal. I'm max level. My brain contains centuries of forging experience from that system training dimension. I've made legendary weapons out of nothing in my mental simulation. Sure, with these garbage materials I can't make anything truly godlike, but a high-quality sword? Totally doable. And in this weapon-crazy dynasty, even a quality sword sells for serious money. My wives immediately organized into Team Forge. Xiao Xiao, furnace duty. This woman grabbed the bellows and started pumping air like her life depended on it. Which, technically, it did. Her job was keeping the fire hot. And between her enthusiasm and her physics, she was really good at operating that bellows. Very effective pumping motion. Xiaoro and Nyonyo, support team, handing me tools, moving materials, basically my pit crew. I melted down the old hoe heads to get raw metal, poured it into a mold, and then picked up the big forging hammer. Now, this hammer is heavy. Old me couldn't have even lifted it. But new me? After the vitality pill? After last night's cardio? I swung that thing like it was a toy. Clang. Sparks flew everywhere like a fireworks show. Then steady rhythmic hammering. Each hit precise, each strike purposeful. Max-level technique means I know exactly where to hit, how hard, and at what angle. Every swing is perfect. My wives stood there watching with literal hard eyes. They were mesmerized. Normally watching a sweaty dude bang on metal isn't exactly romantic entertainment. But somehow, when your husband does it, slender body, scholar's face, but swinging a giant hammer with effortless power, suddenly it's the hottest thing they've ever seen. Nyonyo blurted out, "Husband, you're so handsome." Her chubby little cheeks were bright pink. Couldn't help herself. "You're beautiful too," I said. Then I looked at the other two. "All of you. Literal angels fallen from heaven." 3 shy smiles. In the modern world, a line that cheesy would get you blocked on every dating app. Here, pure romance. They were glowing. By the time I finished the quenching step, dunking the blade in water, massive steam explosion, very dramatic. It was already getting dark. Sword wasn't done yet. Still needed finishing work, but the hard part was over. No rush anyway. Tax day isn't tomorrow. I put the half-finished sword away, and my 3 wives tag-teamed getting me cleaned up. One prepared the bath water. One laid out my clothes. One made dinner. I'm living like a medieval king on a peasant's budget. After a quick meal, the sun disappeared and darkness swallowed the village. No electricity, no TV, no phone, no entertainment of any kind. Well, one kind of entertainment. I loosened my belt. Looked at my 3 wives. They looked at me. Shy smiles all around. Night 2. This time, nobody needed instructions. We were all veterans now. Experienced professionals. The tiger hunting fist technique remained and used in combat, but boy was I getting good cardio practice with the Dragon Tiger Vitality Pill. Ancient life has no Netflix, no social media, no late-night snacks. But honestly, I don't miss any of it. Not even a little. Next morning, sky barely turning light. I was already up and hammering away at the forge like a man possessed. Why? Because I looked at my 3 sleeping beauties cuddled up on the bed, and my motivation meter hit 99.99. These women are counting on me. No time for sleeping in. The finishing work on the sword went smooth. Max-level skills are no joke. Every step felt natural, like my hands knew what to do before my brain did. The sword wasn't perfect because my materials were literally recycled garden hose and campfire charcoal, but it was still better than anything you'd find in a regular shop. A diamond made from trash is still a diamond. Xiao Xiao came out rubbing her sleepy eyes, ready to start breakfast duty. She saw me already grinding away and got all emotional. "Husband, you're working so hard." She's not dumb. She knows the pressure I'm under. 3 wives means monster taxes. 1 income source. Me and this rusty forge. The math is scary if you think about it too long, so I just don't think about it. Grind instead. My other 2 wives woke up soon after and came outside with red eyes. They'd clearly been holding back tears again. "What's this? Crying club meeting at dawn?" I joked. Little Nyonyo, bless her honest soul, just nodded. "Yeah, wanna cry. Not allowed in the morning," I said with my best mischievous grin. "Save the crying for nighttime. I only comfort people at night." "Why nighttime?" "Oh, sweet innocent Nyonyo." Sharo's face turned red because SHE got it immediately. I just winked. "I'll show you tonight." Mental note. Give Nyonyo some special attention tonight. Educational purposes. After breakfast, I announced I was heading out to sell the sword. Sharo figured it out immediately. Smart girl. Now, the phrase, going out to sell my sword, sounds a little weird in certain contexts, and I noticed it sounded weird, but I decided not to overthink it. My wives walked me to the door like I was going to war. Be careful, husband. 3 worried faces. 3 pairs of concerned eyes. In fairness, the roads are dangerous. Wild animals. Bandits. Dead bodies and ditches are apparently just normal scenery around here. It's basically a nature hike through a horror movie. Relax, your husband is tough. Nothing's gonna happen. I wrapped the sword in an old rag because I had 0 materials for a proper sheath. It looked like I was carrying a stick wrapped in a dirty towel. Real professional look. But I knew the blade underneath was quality work, and that's what matters. Don't judge a sword by its wrapper. 50 miles to the county town. 50 miles back. 100 miles round trip on foot. Old me would have collapsed after the first mile. New me, powered by the Dragon Tiger pill and 2 consecutive nights of vigorous exercise. Easy jog. Barely a warm-up. But I didn't even make it to the village entrance before trouble found me. 2 dudes stepped out and blocked my path. Wang Fa, the local landlord's son, thinks he's hot stuff. And Wang Ergu, the village chief's nephew, professional sidekick. Together they formed the village's premier dirtbag duo. Unemployed, useless, and dedicated full-time to bullying people. They've been picking on the original Lin Fan since childhood. The old Lin Fan was so weak and scared he'd cross the street just to avoid them, which only made them bolder. Classic bully math. 0 resistance equals infinite harassment. Apparently, they'd been waiting for me to leave the house for 2 days, but I was too busy being newlywed to step outside. This made them even angrier. How dare the village weakling be happier than them? Hey Lin Fan, Wang Fa sneered. Heard you brought home 3 pretty wives. Aren't you scared you'll die in bed? A twig like you. Yeah, Erga parroted. You'll snap in half. Hey, these 2 share 1 brain cell, and it's on life support. Get lost, I said. I'm busy. Ooh, tough guy now that he's got wives. Ergu started rolling up his sleeves, ready for the usual beatdown routine. But Wang Fa stopped him and put on his reasonable big brother face. Actually, Lin Fan, we're here to help you. You can't pay the head tax for 3 wives, right? So here's our generous offer. Let 2 of your wives service some clients. Let us have a turn first, and we'll send you more customers. Easy money. Tax problem solved. Let me translate. These maggots just told me to pimp out my wives, starting with themselves. Wang Erga grinned and opened his stupid mouth. Yeah, just let us have some fun and wheel. Aghhh. He didn't finish that sentence. My fist did. Pow, right in his filthy mouth. Knocked a tooth clean out. He hit the ground screaming like a dying pig. You're dead. Wang Fa lunged at me. Bad move, buddy. Bad move. Tiger hunting fist, activated. I unleashed everything. These fists were designed to punch actual tigers. You think 2 village losers stand a chance? I lit them up like a drum set. Left hook, right cross, uppercut, body shot. I was playing a rhythm game on their faces. They tried to fight back for about 3 seconds before realizing that the skinny bookworm they used to bully had somehow turned into a one-man demolition crew. Within a minute, both of them were face down in the dirt, crying and begging me to stop. I stood over them, not even breathing hard. That was a warning. Talk about my wives like that again, and I won't stop at a lesson. Then I stepped over their crumpled bodies and walked away. 50 miles to cover. Can't waste daylight on trash. Behind me, I heard Erga whimpering. He got really strong somehow. What do we do? And Wang Fa, spitting blood. I'm telling my big brother. Nobody hits me and gets away with it. This isn't over. Oh great. Sequel villains. How original. The landlord's older son is probably going to come looking for trouble now. Wonderful. Can't wait to punch another idiot. But that's a problem for future me. Present me has a sword to sell and a family to feed. Let's go make some money. 50 miles. On foot. Before lunch. Old me would have called an Uber after the first block. New me jogged the whole thing like it was a morning warm-up. Dragon Tiger Pill is basically a cheat code for cardio. I arrived at Tianfeng City right when the sun was overhead, barely even sweating. The city was straight out of a TV drama set. Big stone walls, guards at the gate checking people. I had nothing on me except a sword wrapped in a dirty rag, so they waved me through. Apparently looking broke is the fastest way past security. Inside, the streets were packed. Classic ancient city vibes, cross-shaped main road, shops everywhere, street vendors screaming about their products. Buns. Fresh meat buns. If they're not delicious, they're free. Candied hawthorn berries. Sweet and crispy. Get lost, beggar. Scram. Ah yes. The holy trinity of ancient Chinese cities. Bun sellers, candy vendors, and homeless people getting yelled at. Some things are truly universal across dimensions. Those meat buns smelled incredible though. My stomach was singing opera. 50 miles of jogging on a light breakfast? I could eat a horse. But my wallet situation was, well, I didn't have a wallet, or money, or anything resembling currency. The whole point of this trip was to fix that problem. Stomach, please hold. We're here on business. The original Lin Fan had visited this city a few times, so I knew where to go. Right at the center intersection, there's a massive weapon shop called the Divine Arms Pavilion. Think of it as the Walmart of swords, except fancy. They have branches in cities all across the Dalong dynasty, do business with the imperial court, and apparently own a legendary blood-drinking blade that even government officials want to buy. Big operation. Serious money. If I'm going to sell weapons long-term, these are the people to sell to. No point haggling with random street vendors when you can go straight to the top. The shop was huge. In the most expensive real estate in the city, this place took up several acres. That's like owning an entire city block in Manhattan and filling it with swords. The wealth required to do that is mind-blowing. Martial arts types were walking in and out constantly. Business was booming. I stood at the entrance for maybe 10 seconds before a shop attendant appeared. Welcome, sir. Looking to buy something? Now here's what impressed me. I looked like a homeless person carrying a stick wrapped in a towel. Any normal shop would have told me to get lost. But this guy was polite, friendly, zero judgment. No wonder they're the biggest weapon chain in the empire. Customer service game, flawless. Actually, I'm here to sell. Oh, selling. What are you offering? A sword. His eyes lit up. Apparently swords are their bread and butter. Every young wannabe swordsman in the dynasty wants to buy a cool sword and live out there. Wandering hero, fantasy. These starry-eyed rookies are the easiest customers. They'll pay top dollar for anything that looks sharp and shiny. Swords basically carry the shop's entire revenue. My timing couldn't be better. Right this way, sir. I'll get our second manager to appraise it. He led me into a private side room, sat me down, brought tea. Classy. I started unwrapping my sword while he went to fetch the boss. I didn't touch the tea, though. Not because I'm suspicious. Actually, yeah, a little suspicious. New world, new rules. Don't drink stranger tea. The second manager walked in a minute later. Middle-aged guy, blue robes, hair slicked back perfectly. Looked like the ancient Chinese version of a luxury car salesman. Smooth, composed, calculating. He scanned me quickly, clothes, posture, age. Then his eyes locked onto my sword. And I watched his expression change in real time. Started calm and professional. Then, as I peeled off the last strip of cloth and the blade caught the light, his eyes went wide. He immediately kicked the attendant out. You can go. I'll handle this. Oh, private meeting? That means this sword is worth more than casual conversation. What should I call you, young man? He smiled warmly. Translation. Who are you and where did you get this? Does selling here require an ID check? I smiled back. Translation. None of your business. Not at all. Just making friends. We did the polite little dance. He wanted information. I gave none. He pivoted smoothly. Professionals don't push. May I examine the blade? Go ahead. He picked it up. Ran his fingers along the metal. Turned it in the light. His eyes kept getting brighter. Fine sword, he said, genuinely impressed. Then he grabbed a special hardwood testing block, their standard tool for checking sharpness and durability. This wood is specifically chosen because it's tough to cut. If a blade can slice through it clean, the blade is legit. He raised my sword and did one diagonal slash. Shhhhhk. The hardwood block split in half and fell to the floor. The cut surface was smooth as a mirror. Top to bottom. No resistance whatsoever. My recycled garden hose sword just went through testing would like it was warm butter. Very nice. Very nice indeed. The manager was practically glowing. I kept my poker face, but inside I was doing a victory dance. My sword just passed the quality check with flying colors. Made from melted down farming tools, forged with firewood charcoal, finished in a rusty backyard forge. and it just outperformed professional weapons. Max-level blacksmith skills are no joke. Even with garbage materials, I can make treasure. This trip was already a success. Now the only question was, how much is this beautiful piece of recycled agriculture going to sell for? You really want to sell this sword? The second manager put the blade down like it was a newborn baby, practically holding his breath. That's why I'm here, yes. 50 silver taels, 50 silver taels. Let me do the math for you. 1 silver tael equals 1,000 copper coins. 1 meat bun costs 2 copper coins. That means 1 tael buys 500 buns. 50 taels, that's 25,000 meat buns. That's enough to feed my entire family for 5 years. I made this sword in 2 days, from recycled hoe heads, and with charcoal, in a rusty backyard forge. I basically turned garden trash into 5 years of groceries. If this isn't the greatest return on investment in human history, I don't know what is. Now, I'm not stupid. I know the pavilion will flip this sword for at least 100 taels. Some rich kid with a martial arts fantasy will walk in, see a shiny sword, and empty daddy's wallet without blinking. The markup is insane. They're making double what they paid me. But you know what? I don't care. 50 taels is 50 taels. That's head tax, covered. Food, covered. Salt, supplies, everything, covered. 2 days ago, I couldn't afford breakfast. Now I'm holding enough silver to make my pockets sag. Deal. Money for sword. He called the attendant, who brought out 50 taels of actual silver. I grabbed it. Heavy. Beautifully, wonderfully heavy. The weight of financial freedom in my hands. Marry wives, get rich. The system delivered. No scams, no fine print, no hidden fees. Just pure economic miracle powered by matrimony. My wives are literally my best investment. And this is just the beginning. With proper materials, I could forge real masterpieces. Legendary blades. The kind of swords warlords fight wars over. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Showing up with god-tier weapons when you're a nobody is basically painting "ROB me" on your forehead. Stay humble. Stay alive. Make money quietly. I bowed to the manager, left the shop, and nobody followed me. No ambush. No, kill him and take back the money, drama. Professional establishment. 50 taels probably isn't worth ruining their reputation over. Good. I like doing business with people who have standards. Next stop, the Coal and Iron Bureau. Half-government office that sells raw materials. I needed iron, ore, and quality coal, because wood charcoal is the dollar store version of fuel. It works, but barely. Real coal means real temperatures, and real temperatures mean real weapons. I walked in and flashed Dad's old blacksmith ID badge. Thank God he kept this thing. Without it, regular people can't buy iron or coal. Controlled materials. The dynasty doesn't want random peasants stockpiling metal. Fair enough. But as a registered blacksmith's son, full access. The clerk was about as enthusiastic as a DMV employee. Barely looked at me. Punched some numbers on his abacus. 5 taels total. Want delivery? 100 miles, 200 copper extra. Obviously yes. I'm not carrying a cart of coal and iron 50 miles on my back. I'm strong, but I'm not insane. Paid a small deposit, got a receipt, gave them my address. They'll deliver tomorrow. Government-backed service, so they're trustworthy enough. And even if they scam me, I only left a tiny deposit. Worst case, I lose pocket change. Now for the fun part. Shopping. First, food supplies. Bought a mountain of grain. Then salt, sugar, soap. All the basics we'd been completely out of. Then I walked past a jewelry shop and stopped. My wives don't own a single nice thing. They showed up with 1 cloth bundle each. Their entire wardrobes are burlap rags. No accessories, no pretty things, nothing. These women literally chose me over a brothel and haven't complained once about living in a crumbling mud house. I walked in and went full crazy boyfriend mode. I'll take that. And that. 3 of those. 3 of those too. Actually, 1 of everything. Times 3. Jade hairpins, bracelets, hair ornaments, little pouches, perfume sachets, weird decorative things I couldn't even identify. Didn't matter. If it was pretty, I bought 3. 1 for each wife. 10 taels gone. Evaporated. The jewelry lady looked at me like I was Santa Claus. She practically escorted me out the door with hard eyes, begging me to come back. Visit again soon, sir. I'm pretty sure I just became her favorite customer of the year. Possibly of her career. Did I get ripped off? Oh, absolutely. Small-town jewelry shop sees a young guy panic buying everything in sight. They crank those prices up. But honestly, it's 1/5 of a sword. I can forge another one in 2 days. Let them have their markup. Happy wives, happy life. That's not just a saying, it's literally my system's core mechanic. After jewelry, I hit the fabric shop. My wives need real clothes, not burlap potato sacks. More shopping, more spending, more bags. By the time I finished, I was carrying enough stuff to open my own store, and the sun was setting. Problem: 50 miles home, in the dark, through wilderness filled with tigers and bandits, and who knows what else. I've got tiger hunting fist, sure, but fighting wolves in pitch darkness while carrying bags of jewelry and fabric sounds like a terrible idea. I can't even see where I'm going. One wrong turn, and I'm lost in a mountain somewhere fighting bears with a bag of hairpins. Easy decision, stay the night. The coal delivery is coming tomorrow anyway, so I'll just hitch a ride back with the delivery cart. Travel in daylight. Like a sensible person. Found a decent-looking inn, checked in, dumped all my shopping bags on the floor. Lying in bed alone for the first time in 3 days felt weird. Too much space. Too quiet. No warm bodies. No 3 different perfumes. No soft breathing. I missed my wives. It had been 1 day. I'm so cooked. So while I was chilling at mine eating dinner like a normal person, apparently something huge was happening back at the Divine Arms Pavilion. Some big shot elders showed up. And when I say big shot, I mean both managers, including the head manager who basically never appears, were standing there bowing like nervous interns meeting the CEO. This old man had white hair, but a face like a healthy tomato, voice booming like a speaker system. Clearly some kind of martial arts grandmaster. And what was he holding? My sword. Turns out this old fossil has some kind of magical fire energy that lets him analyze weapons on a molecular level. And he figured out 2 things that blew everyone's minds. First, my sword was forged using something called the 100 Forge technique, a legendary lost method that supposedly died out ages ago. This technique can turn literal garbage metal into masterwork weapons, which is exactly what I did with those hoe heads. Second, the sword isn't old. I tried to make it look aged, a little trick from my max-level skills, but Grandpa Laser Eyes saw right through it. His fire powers detected that the metal still had fresh forging heat inside. Brand new sword, fake antique finish. So now the most powerful guy in the Divine Arms Pavilion organization is ordering his people to find the mystery blacksmith who sold the sword. They're getting a sketch artist to draw my portrait from the second manager's memory. Great. Wonderful. I'm being manhunted by an ancient weapons corporation because I'm too good at my job. This is what happens when you overachieve. But also, this elder had another reason for visiting. Apparently their organization's young miss, some important rich girl, ran away from home, and intelligence says she was last spotted in the Tianfeng City area. So now the whole local branch is secretly searching for a runaway heiress and a mystery blacksmith. None of which I knew about, obviously. I was upstairs in my inn room, eating noodles and missing my wives. Sleeping alone felt wrong. After 3 nights of being sandwiched between warm, sweet-smelling women, lying in a cold bed by myself was like going from a king-size memory foam mattress back to the floor. I've been spoiled beyond recovery in less than a week. Next morning, I packed up and rushed to the coal and iron bureau to catch my delivery ride home. Bad news. The delivery driver was sick. No delivery today. Maybe tomorrow. Absolutely not. My wives have been alone for a full night. They're probably worried sick. And we're out of food. If I don't get back today, 3 beautiful women are going hungry because of me. Unacceptable. I'd rather carry everything on my back for 50 miles than let that happen. So I strapped a massive basket of goods to my back. Grain, salt, sugar, fabric, jewelry, soap. Basically a walking department store. And headed for the city gate. That's when I bumped into Cloud Lady, the wife delivery woman from day one. Cloud Lady. Hey. She squinted at me for a solid 5 seconds before recognizing me. Fair enough. Apparently I look completely different now. The vitality pill plus 3 nights of marital activities had transformed my whole vibe. More energy, better posture, practically glowing. She remembered me only because I'm the one pretty boy from that farming village. Hard to forget a swan among chickens. Oh, it's you, little brother. I'm not a little brother anymore. I'm a grown man now. She poked my chest with one finger and giggled. Yes, you are. I took a step back. This woman has a dangerous aura. She's past her prime, but she's got this energy that could vacuum a man off the ground. Like a mature lioness eyeing a gazelle. My survival instincts were screaming. She noticed all my shopping bags. My business must be booming. Buying so much stuff. All thanks to you, big sis. You brought me my wonderful wives. Oh, really? Then next time I have girls nobody wants, I'll just bring them straight to your house. Yes, please. I said that way too fast. But come on. More wives means more system rewards. This is literally my cheat code's fuel source. Send me a whole bus of unwanted brides. I'll take every single one. Cloud Lady laughed so hard her assets created a minor earthquake. The way she was looking at me was shifting from cute little brother to potential prey. Her eyes had that hungry sparkle. I could feel the gravitational pull. Nope. Time to go. I made my excuses and sprinted toward the city gate. This woman would eat me alive, and I am not on today's menu. Made it out of the city safe and undevoured. 50 miles to go. Heavy basket on my back. Beautiful sunny day. Easy walk for a vitality pill-enhanced body. Then, about halfway home, from deep in the forest ahead of me, RORR. Tiger. An actual, real, living tiger. In the mountains. On my route home. Any normal person would freeze. Run. Cry. Pray. Reroute through the longest possible detour. Me? I started grinning. I have a martial art called tiger hunting fist. I learned it by punching tigers in a simulation dimension for what felt like centuries. I have been training for this exact moment. The universe just delivered a practice dummy directly to my path. My fists started itching. My blood started pumping. Every cell in my body was saying the same thing. Go punch that cat. Before charging in, my business brain kicked on. Because a tiger isn't just a tiger. A tiger is a walking ATM. Tiger skin? Rich people pay fortunes for that. Tiger bones and meat? Premium health supplements for wealthy martial arts kids. Tiger. Male parts? Let's just say certain customers pay crazy money for that. No further questions. Even in the modern world, a legal tiger trade is worth millions. Here it's perfectly legal. This isn't a dangerous beast. It's a fur coat, a medicine cabinet, and a Viagra factory all wrapped in stripes. The roar coming from those trees wasn't scary. It was the sound of money calling my name. I jogged toward the sound. Before I even saw the tiger, some young guy came crashing through the bushes, tripping over his own feet, screaming his lungs out. Help! There's a tiger. A huge tiger. He saw me and grabbed on a hope like a drowning man grabbing a pool noodle. Poor kid was shaking so hard his words came out in pieces. I didn't hesitate. Dropped my basket of shopping on the ground and charged straight toward the danger. The kid's jaw literally dropped. He watched me run toward the tiger like I was insane. Then, and I respect this, he gritted his teeth and followed me back. Brave little idiot. In the forest clearing, the situation was bad. A young swordsman in full martial arts getup was fighting for his life against. Not a regular tiger. A tiger king. This thing was the size of a water buffalo. An absolute unit. A biological tank covered in fur. When it roared, every bird and insect within a mile went dead silent. The trees practically shivered. The swordsman was good, I'll give him that. His sword work was flashy, spinning, slashing, creating walls of steel. Against a normal tiger, he would have won easily. But against this monster? He was losing, badly. Every swipe from the Tiger King pushed him further back. Just a matter of time before those giant paws connected. Hey, swordsman, take a break. I got this. He glanced at me, skinny, pale, zero weapons, dressed like a scholar who got lost on the way to a library, and immediately shook his head. Run. You can't handle this. Respect. Dude is literally about to die, and his first thought is warning me to escape. Not trying to use me as bait or a distraction. Genuine good guy. Made me want to save him even more. Time to debut my signature move. I waited for an opening, coiled my legs, and launched myself at the Tiger King with the ultimate technique of the tiger hunting fist, a move whose official name, I kid you not, is Tonight We Punch Tiger. Yeah, that's really what it's called. The naming committee was clearly not trying very hard. But the power behind it? Oh baby. The moment I threw that punch, something shifted in the air. My fist carried a special pressure that specifically counters tigers. It's built into the technique. The Tiger King's own intimidation aura got shut down. And before this 1,000-pound murder cat could even react, my fist connected. Boom. I punched a tiger the size of a small car, mid-leap, full speed, and sent it flying. The beast smashed through an entire tree trunk before hitting the ground. Blood dripped from its mouth. One punch. One tree destroyed. The swordsman's eyes nearly popped out of his skull. "Incredible," he shouted. The Tiger King staggered up. And you know what? Instead of running, it got angry. Let out a roar so loud the swordsman flinched. The scared kid behind us nearly fainted. Me? I felt nothing. No fear. Only excitement. My blood was boiling. See, when I received this fist technique, I spent what felt like lifetimes in that simulation punching tigers every single day. Tiger roars don't scare me anymore. They hype me up. It's like hearing a gym playlist. "Come here, beast." I looked more terrifying than the tiger. Gone was the gentle, bookish husband. I was full berserker mode. No weapons. Just bare fists against a 1,000-pound apex predator. And I was winning. Every time the Tiger King lunged, my fist technique had a perfect counter. Dodge left, hook right. Duck under the swipe, uppercut the jaw. The technique reads tiger movements like I'm playing a video game with the strategy guide open. I was treating this Tiger King like a punching bag with stripes. The swordsman just stood there watching with the scared kid. Completely useless now. Total spectators at my one-man show. Is this the legendary return to basics level of martial arts? The swordsman muttered in awe. "Buddy, I don't know what that means. I just know how to punch cats really, really hard." Thwack, crack, boom. Every hit landed. The Tiger King's ribs started breaking. Blood poured from its mouth. Its roars turned from angry to desperate. Final blow, a massive straight punch right between the eyes. The Tiger King, this terrifying, 1,000-pound king of the forest, collapsed like a sack of potatoes. I stood over it, breathing hard but recovering fast. Vitality pill stamina is no joke. A few deep breaths, and I was fine. The swordsman was staring at me like he'd just witnessed a miracle. The scared kid was practically vibrating with excitement. Wusong needed a wooden club and was drunk to beat his tiger. I used bare fists. Sober. Against a king tiger. And won. Now, time to cash in. I cracked my knuckles and walked toward the body, already calculating prices in my head. Tiger skin alone is probably worth. The tiger's eyes snapped open. This absolute cheater of an animal jumped up from the ground like nothing happened, did 3 kangaroo hops, and vanished into the dense forest before I could even blink. My hand was still reaching out, frozen in midair, grabbing nothing but disappointment. My walking ATM just got up and ran away. The fur coat, the medicine, the special parts, all of it gone, bouncing through the trees like a striped rubber ball. I beat the Tiger King. I won. And the prize just sprinted into the sunset. This is the ancient equivalent of winning the lottery, and then the ticket blows out of your hand. I have never been less okay. Who would have thought? The king of the jungle just pulled the oldest trick in the book, playing dead. Like a possum. 1,000-pound, stripe-wearing possum. The second I relaxed, this overgrown house cat spring-loaded off the ground like a bouncy ball and disappeared into the forest. Gone. Not even a single hair left behind. My money, the fur, the bones, the special bits, all bouncing away through the trees at maximum speed. A king, the apex predator of the mountain, and it chose to play dead and run like a coward. Where's the honor? Where's the dignity? You're supposed to die gloriously in battle, not fake faint, and yeet yourself into the bushes. I was still standing there with my hand out, grabbing at nothing, looking like a man who just watched his lottery ticket blow into a volcano. Thank you so much for saving me, brother. My name is Jian Shirsi, Sword 14. The young swordsman sheathed his blade and bowed deeply. Very dramatic. Very heroic. Very. Wait, what? Sword 14? That's your name? What kind of parents look at their baby and go, you know what? Sword 14. Nailed it. Were there 13 other sword kids before him? Did they run out of normal names? But whatever. I played it cool. No big deal. Just helping out. No big deal. You saved my life. I will repay this kindness 100-fold someday. Ah yes. The classic, I'll repay you someday line. The ancient Chinese equivalent of, let's definitely hang out sometime. Exactly 0% of people who say this actually follow through. It's right up there with, the check is in the mail, and, I'll start my diet Monday. He asked my name. I told him, Lin, Doublewood Lin. He got all excited, calling me, Brother Lin, and trying to be best friends. I'll admit, He looked the part of a storybook hero. Handsome face, good sword work, fancy clothes. Total main character energy from a TV drama. He asked what martial arts school I came from. I said I taught myself. His eyes almost fell out. Apparently, my tiger hunting fist looked like some legendary advanced level technique to him. Return to basics, he called it. When a martial art is so refined it looks simple. He clearly didn't believe a random village guy invented it. I mean, technically I didn't lie. The system gave me the knowledge, but I did do all the practice myself in that simulation dimension. Millions of hours of punching tigers. Self-taught via tiger abuse. That counts, right? Anyway, I wasn't in the mood for making friends. My wives were home, probably worried sick, probably hungry, probably imagining me dead in a ditch somewhere. Every minute I spent chatting was a minute they spent panicking. Nice meeting you. Gotta go. Bye. I picked up my giant basket of shopping, bowed, and walked away. He watched me leave, but didn't follow. Good. Nice kid, but I've got priorities. As I walked away, I started doing some very exciting math. 3 wives got me 3 rewards. Each one was life-changing on its own. The vitality pill turned my noodle body into a tiger wrestling machine. The blacksmith skill prints money. The tiger fist lets me punch apex predators unconscious with my bare hands. Wusong is famous for killing one regular tiger with a stick while drunk. I punched a tiger king sober with just my fists. I'm literally more legendary than a legend. Now imagine, what if I had 10 wives? 50? 100? Each wife means another god-tier reward. 10 wives could give me 10 incredible abilities. 50 wives, and I'd be a walking army. 100 wives, and I'd be basically invincible. And if I somehow hit 3,000 wives, full imperial harem numbers? 3 wives gets you gold bricks. 30 wives gets you a kingdom. 300 wives gets you immortality pills. 3,000 wives? Nobody in the entire Dalong dynasty could even look at me funny. Plus, there's the baby bonus. Every kid I have increases my luck stat. Enough luck and reality itself bends in my favor. Bad things stop happening. Good things fall from the sky. And in this world, luck isn't just a feeling. Entire empires rise and fall based on their luck energy. If my luck gets high enough, I basically become the universe's favorite child. A child of destiny. The kind of protagonist that the world itself conspires to protect. So the life plan is simple. Marry everyone. Have all the babies. Become literally unstoppable. With that motivation pumping through my veins, I practically flew home. 50 miles of road vanished under my feet. I was basically sprinting while carrying a furniture store on my back, powered by pure reproductive ambition. I could see my village. Almost there. My little mud house at the edge of town. My 3 beautiful wives waiting inside. Probably cooking dinner, probably worrying, probably. I stopped. My gate was kicked in, not opened, not pushed, kicked. The wooden gate was lying flat on the ground, boot print visible on the front. Someone had literally stomped their way into my property while I was gone. Every warm, fuzzy feeling inside me instantly froze over. Ice in my veins. Murder in my eyes. There's exactly one person in this village stupid enough and petty enough to break into my home the day I left. Wong. F.A. That landlord's brat. That coward I beat up yesterday morning. He said, "This isn't over," and apparently he meant it. He waited for me to leave and then went after my home. My wives. If he touched them. If he even looked at them wrong. If he so much as breathed in their direction. My fists clenched so hard my knuckles cracked. Wong F.A. You're dead. Let me tell you what these cockroaches did while I was gone. Wong F.A., the same punk whose teeth I rearranged 2 days ago, waited for me to leave, then kicked down my gate and rolled up with a whole squad. His sidekick Wong Ergu, plus a bunch of muscled-up farmhands from his daddy's land. A real coward convention. And their brilliant master plan? They brought a chicken. A chicken, with a broken wing. They threw it into my yard, then accused my wives of stealing it. That's right. They planted evidence. The crime? Poultry theft. The masterminds really sat down, brainstormed, and came up with, throw a chicken over the fence and cry robbery. Criminal genius of the century right here. But here's the evil part. In this dynasty, the law works for whoever has more money. Wong F.A.'s family are landlords. My family is dirt poor. If this goes to court, the judge would side with the landlord's kid faster than you can say, corruption. It doesn't matter that the setup is obvious. It doesn't matter that my wives are innocent. Money talks. Poor people walk straight to prison. My wives knew this. Xiao Xiao and Nyonyo were shaking with fear. But Xiao, my ride-or-die first wife, stood firm. We didn't steal anything. You threw that chicken in here yourselves. Wang Fa didn't even deny it properly. Just smirked. Oh yeah? Tell that to the magistrate and see who he believes. Slimy little weasel knew he was untouchable. Planted evidence plus corrupt courts equals checkmate. At least, that's what he thought. Then Wang Ergu, walking brain damage that he is, asked where I was. Where's Lin Fan? Did your coward husband run away? Sweet little Nyonyo, too innocent for this world, just answered honestly. Our husband isn't home. And that's when things got dark. Wang Fa's eyes changed. He'd come here for revenge, but the moment he saw my 3 beautiful wives up close, without me around to protect them, his tiny rat brain rewired from revenge to something much worse. Well, he said with a disgusting grin, if you don't want to go to court, there is another option. My boys and I have been feeling a little uncomfortable lately. You 3 can help us feel comfortable. Think of it as paying off your husband's debt. Let me translate his fancy talk. This piece of garbage just told my wives to sleep with him and his crew, or go to jail for a crime they didn't commit. Wang Ergu licked his lips like the sewer rat he is. Yeah, your useless husband made us uncomfortable, so you girls get to make it up to us. My 3 wives, my beautiful, brave, loyal wives, didn't hesitate for 1 second. We'd rather die. We will never betray our husband. All 3, in unison. Zero hesitation. These women have known me for 4 days, and they'd rather die than dishonor me. Meanwhile, in the modern world, people break up over who forgot to text back. Wang Fa laughed like a cartoon villain. Go ahead and resist. I like it when they resist. He ordered his farmhands to grab the girls. These guys didn't want to do it. I could see the guilt on their faces, but Wang Fa's family controls their farmland. Disobey, and their whole families starve. So they started moving forward. Xiao pulled out scissors she'd hidden in her sleeve. My smart, prepared warrior queen. She'd sensed trouble the moment these scumbags showed up. Xiao Xiao and Nyonyo grabbed wooden sticks. 3 women against a squad of grown men, armed with scissors and kindling. It was brave. It was beautiful. And it was completely hopeless. Wang Fa was enjoying it, laughing as my wives got backed into a corner. My house is at the edge of the village. Nobody would hear them scream. He'd planned this perfectly. The perfect crime in the perfect location. Or so he thought. Because right at that moment, I walked through my broken gate, and I saw everything. My wives cornered, terrified, armed with scissors and sticks against a group of men. Wang Fa laughing with that disgusting look in his eyes. His goons closing in. Something inside me snapped. Not cracked. Snapped. Like a steel cable breaking under too much pressure. Every drop of warmth in my body turned to ice, then immediately caught fire. You're all dead. I dropped everything I was carrying. 50 miles worth of shopping hit the ground, and I didn't care. I locked onto Wang Fa, the source, the cause, the cockroach king, and I launched. Flying kick. Full power. Every ounce of Tiger King punching force concentrated into 1 foot, aimed at his worthless chest. He didn't even see me coming. Crack. Wang Fa went airborne. Not stumbled. Not pushed. Launched across the yard like a ragdoll hit by a truck. He landed God knows how far away, coughed up blood, and couldn't even crawl. Down. Done. Broken. Wang Ergu saw his boss crumple and immediately wet himself. Literally. Pants. Soaked. His legs were shaking so bad, he looked like a phone on vibrate. I turned my eyes on him. On all of them. Every single person who came into MY home, threatened MY wives, and tried to do the unforgivable. None of you are leaving. My voice didn't sound like me. It sounded like something that crawls out of nightmares. The farmhands went white. Erga's knees buckled. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. The gentle husband. The smiling bookworm. The guy who buys jewelry for his wives and flirts at breakfast. That guy was gone right now. What was standing in his place was the man who punched a Tiger King unconscious with his bare hands. And right now, he was looking at a yard full of rats who were much, much easier to break. Husband, my 3 wives saw me and burst into tears. Not sad tears, relief tears. The kind you cry when you think you're about to die, and then your man shows up like a movie hero with perfect timing. I looked at their scared faces. Their red eyes. The scissors Xiao was gripping with white knuckles. The sticks Xiao Xiao and Nyonyo were holding with trembling hands. 3 women who were seconds away from choosing death over dishonor. For days. They've known me 4 days, and they were ready to kill themselves rather than betray me. Something inside me went very, very quiet. The dangerous kind of quiet. It's okay now. I'm here, I said it softly. Gently. The same voice I use when I comfort them at night. They nodded through their tears, clinging to each other. Then I turned back around, and the gentle voice was gone. This was my fault. I knew Wang Fa would retaliate. I beat him up and left my wives unprotected. Stupid. Reckless. I underestimated how far this cockroach would go. I thought it was a normal village grudge, some pushing, some shoving, maybe some mean words. Not this. Not breaking into my home. Not trying to assault my wives. If I'd come home 10 minutes later, my wives would be dead by their own hands. They would have chosen scissors to the throat over letting these animals touch them. 10 minutes. That thought burned through my brain like acid. Wham! I punched Wang Ergu so hard he flew through the air like a soccer ball. He hit the ground screaming, joining his buddy Wang Fa in the broken and bleeding club. 2 bullies, matching injuries, lying in my yard like discarded garbage. Kill him. Somebody kill him, Wang Fa screamed from the ground, ordering his farmhands to attack me. Brave words from a man who can't stand up. The farmhands looked at me nervously. Hey man, calm down. Don't do anything crazy. You helped him. You walked into MY home. You cornered MY wives. And you want me to calm down? They shut up real fast. I was about to finish what I started when, slow clapping from outside my gate. Great. The sequel boss has arrived. A young man walked into my yard like he owned the place. Built like a fighter. Tight martial arts clothes. Temples bulging with energy. Steady footwork. This guy was the real deal. An actual trained warrior, not a village bully playing tough. Wang Wei. Wang Fa's big brother. The one I'd been warned about. This guy basically runs the family business and is a core member of the Sisui gang. A legit martial arts gang that controls the county area. He's been training for years, apparently some kind of prodigy, reached, third-rate warrior, level in record time. Which sounds insulting, third-rate. But in this world that actually means he's a genuine fighter who can snap tree trunks with his fists and take on 10 normal men solo. He's the reason Wang Fa is so cocky. When your big brother is a gang-affiliated martial artist, you can bully whoever you want in a tiny farming village. Who's going to stop you? So you're the one who hurt my baby brother, Wang Wei said, looking me up and down like I was a mildly interesting insect. Not bad. You've got some muscle. For a peasant. The disrespect was dripping off every word. Kneel. He actually said that. Told me to kneel. In MY yard. In front of MY wives. After his brother tried to assault MY family. Kneel? For you. I almost laughed. You're not worth my knee touching the ground. Wang Fa perked up from his puddle of blood. You're done now? My brother's gonna destroy you. He was grinning with broken teeth. Pathetic. Wang Wei's smile disappeared. Nobody in this village remembers what I can do, apparently. Let me remind you. Then he laid out his little bet. Fight me. If you win, today's mess is forgotten. If you lose, he glanced at my wives like they were prizes at a carnival. That your 3 women become my brother's apology gift. My wives. As a BET. As compensation. Like they're objects. Like they're things to be traded. Wang Fa was cackling. Thanks, big bro. I knew you'd handle it. Imagine being beaten half to death, lying in your own blood, and still grinning because you think your brother is about to win your enemy's wives for you. The delusion. The audacity. The absolute roach energy. You really want to die that badly? My voice came out flat. Cold. Even I didn't recognize it. Angry? Good. Show me what you've got, village boy. Wang Wei was enjoying himself. To him, this was entertainment. A trained martial artist versus a farmer with brute strength. Not even a real fight. Just a fun afternoon activity before heading back to the gang. My wives called out from behind me, worried. Husband. I looked back one more time. 3 beautiful, terrified faces. 3 women who were ready to die for me. 3 women who this piece of trash just called a prize. It's fine. I turned and walked toward Wang Wei. With each step, I let everything out. The fury. The killing intent. The pressure that made a tiger king, a 1,000-pound apex predator, freeze and play dead. That same pressure hit Wang Wei full force. The yard went silent. The air got heavy. Even the wind stopped. Kill. No more words. No more games. just fists. You want to know if fancy martial arts training beats a man with a system-powered tiger punching technique defending his family? Let's find out. Kill, I charged. No more talking. No more posturing. Just violence. Wang Wei smirked like I was a toddler swinging at a boxing champion. You really think brute strength can match a trained martial artist? How pitifully amused. His face changed mid-sentence. The second my tiger-hunting fist pressure hit him, his cocky smile evaporated like water on a hot pan. That special aura, the one that made an actual Tiger King submit, slammed into this genius warrior full force. His eyes went dinner plate wide. Impossible. Nothing's impossible. I threw one punch. One. He tried to dodge at the last second. Almost made it. My fist caught his left shoulder instead of his chest. Boom. He went flying. Same trajectory as his little brother. Same crash landing. Same, lying in the dirt wondering what happened to his life, pose. Family resemblance even extends to getting wrecked. To his credit, the guy actually got back up. Tough cookie. But his entire left arm was dangling like a wet noodle. Shattered. One punch turned his shoulder into gravel. And here's the fun part. If he'd been one step slower, that fist would have landed on his chest. Center mass. Lights out. Permanently. He wasn't beaten. He was almost killed. By a guy he told to kneel 30 seconds ago. This can't be real. I'm a prodigy. I'm an elite fighter of the Sishui gang. Buddy. My fist technique was designed to punch tigers into submission. You're a mid-level gang member from a small-town county. You're not even on the same menu as the things I've been fighting. The Tiger King was a harder opponent, and that furry fraud had to play dead to escape me. What exactly did you think was going to happen? But you know what was really entertaining? Wang Fei's face. This bully who's been tormenting me since childhood just watched his invincible big brother. His ultimate trump card. His, wait till my brother gets here, nuclear option, get one shot by the village weakling. I could see the gears turning in his broken little head. And then, I swear, this idiot actually thought to himself, maybe marrying 3 wives makes a man stronger? Yes, Wang Fei. That is literally how it works. But you'll never know that. All you know is that ever since I got married, your life has been a non-stop highlight reel of getting punched in the face. Correlation does equal causation this time, buddy. But you'll never figure out why. I was about to deliver the finishing round when voices came from down the road. The cavalry had arrived. Unfortunately, it was the village cavalry, which is about as intimidating as a rescue team made of librarians. A little cowherd boy had seen everything from the creek and ran to get help. Good kid. Brave kid. Somebody give that boy extra dessert tonight. Wang Uncle, the village chief, showed up with a crowd of angry villagers. Old folks were furious. Wang Fei broke into someone's home. He's gone too far this time. We can't tolerate this anymore. They were ready to riot. Years of Wang Fei's bullying, his stealing, his harassment, everyone had had enough. The village elders were demanding Wang Uncle take action. But poor Wang Uncle was sweating bullets. Because here's the reality check. Wang Fei is annoying but manageable. Wang Wei, that's a whole different problem. He's connected to the Sishui gang, which has connections to the county magistrate's office. Pick a fight with Wang Wei and suddenly the whole village gets hit with mysterious tax increases. Or worse, people start disappearing on country roads with nobody asking questions. That's the world we live in. A small-time gang member has more power than an entire village because he can call in favors from corrupt officials. Justice isn't about who's right. It's about who knows the scariest people. Wang Uncle sighed. Let's just go see what's happening and try to calm things down. The elders sighed too. Everyone knew the score. They weren't dumb, just powerless. But then they actually arrived at my yard, and every single one of them froze. They'd come prepared to rescue my poor helpless wives from the big bad bullies. They'd rehearsed their angry speeches. They were ready to shake their fists and demand justice. Instead they found Wang Fei, face down, covered in blood, broken everywhere. Wang Ergu, same condition, smelled like pee. Wang Wei, the feared martial artist, the gang prodigy, the untouchable big brother, sitting in the dirt with a shattered arm, staring into space like his entire worldview just collapsed. And me? Standing in the middle of my yard. Not a scratch. Calm as a pond. My 3 wives safe behind me. The entire rescue party just stopped. Mouths open. Eyes wide. Brains buffering. What? What happened here? Someone whispered. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. The village weakling came home, found rats in his house, and took out the trash. All of it, including the premium grade rat that everyone was afraid of. Welcome to the new normal, folks. Lin Fan doesn't run anymore. The villagers arrived, and their brains collectively short-circuited. Picture the scene through their eyes. They rushed over expecting to find my poor wives getting terrorized by the village bully. Instead, they found the bully face down in a blood puddle, his sidekick marinating in his own pee, the feared martial artist brother standing frozen with a dangling arm, and me, the village weakling who once needed help walking, standing in the center of it all like a final boss. The bullies were supposed to be standing. I was supposed to be crying. Everything was backwards. And the best part? When the villagers showed up, Wang Fa, beaten, bleeding, broken, actually looked relieved to see them. Like, oh thank God, witnesses. He can't finish killing me now. The guy who came to terrorize my family was now hoping the angry mob would save him. The irony was so thick you could spread it on bread. Wait, is that Wang Wei? Someone gasped. Yep, the legendary big brother. The gang member. The guy everyone was too scared to confront on the walk over here. Currently standing in my yard, arm destroyed, not daring to move or speak. Looking at the arriving villagers like they were his rescue team. Everyone was so confused they could only stare at me. The village sickling. The boy Wang uncle used to carry around as a baby, who apparently once peed on his head, which is a detail I could have lived without knowing. The kid who couldn't lift a hoe, couldn't work a field, whose only talent was reading a few words. That guy just soloed the entire Wang family combat roster? Wang uncle was having a complete mental breakdown trying to process this. I could practically see the Windows error screen behind his eyes. He knew me better than anyone. He'd watched me grow up unable to carry groceries without getting winded. And now I'd just one punch to train martial artist. Maybe. Marrying 3 wives transformed him, he muttered, looking at my wives like they were magical power-up mushrooms. Honestly, Wang uncle, you're closer to the truth than you'll ever know. Even Wang Fa had the same thought. This moron who's been beating me up since childhood was lying in his own blood thinking, wait, does marriage make men stronger? Should I get more wives? He's so close to the answer, yet so impossibly far. I almost felt sorry for his brain cells. Both of them. Then Wang Fa switched to plan B, playing victim. Village chief. Lin Fan stole my chicken. I came to confront him, and he attacked us. Arrest him. Take him to court. This absolute clown. Lying on the ground looking like a stepped-on grape, trying to frame me as the criminal. With his planted evidence chicken still sitting by the wall with its broken wing, like the world's saddest prop in the world's worst courtroom drama. Wang uncle turned to me with concern. Lin Fan, did you really steal his chicken? Because here's the thing, in the Dalong dynasty, theft plus assault equals military conscription. Frontline cannon fodder duty. They literally make you run at castle walls first so the enemy wastes their arrows on you. It's basically a death sentence with extra steps. If Wang Fa's chicken story stuck, I was done. Theft, assault, boom, shipped to the border to die. But I just laughed. Wang uncle, I literally just got back from the county town. The aunties at the village entrance watched me walk in 5 minutes ago. One of those exact aunties was standing right there in the crowd. Yep, I can confirm. Lin Fan came from outside the village. 2 other families saw him too. Wang Fa's face went from smug to panicked. His airtight frame job had a hole the size of a barn door. I wasn't even home when the theft supposedly happened. Kind of hard to steal a chicken from inside your house when multiple witnesses saw you arriving from 50 miles away. She's lying. My guys saw him. Wang Fa pointed at his farmhands. Tell them. Lin Fan was here the whole time. The farmhands hesitated, then mumbled. Why? He was here. The worst acting performance in human history. A kindergarten play has more convincing delivery. Wang uncle had heard enough. He turned to Wang Ergu, his own nephew, and went full angry uncle mode. You. Was Lin Fan home or not? Tell the truth or I'll go to your father's house and break your legs myself. Wang Ergu, who had already been punched, kicked, humiliated, and was currently standing in damp pants, crumbled like a wet cookie. He wasn't home. Boom. Case dismissed. Witness for the prosecution just flipped. Wang Fa's chicken conspiracy collapsed in real time. Wang Wei, who'd been standing silently this whole time, probably hoping nobody noticed his shattered arm, glared at me with pure hatred. He'd wanted to step in and take control, but his star witness folded before he could open his mouth. Nothing left to do. His brother's scheme was exposed. His own arm was broken, and the whole village was watching. He gave me one last death stare, grabbed his useless shoulder, and walked out of my yard without a word. Wang Fa got dragged out by the farmhands. Wang Erga limped behind them, still dripping. The Wang family retreat. One broken arm, one broken everything, one broken spirit, and zero dignity between them. I let them go. With this many villagers watching, I couldn't exactly finish what I started. And honestly, killing them would just create bigger problems. But as I watched Wang Wei's back disappear down the road, I knew this wasn't over. Not even close. That guy's connected to a real gang. He's got resources, manpower, and a grudge the size of his shattered ego. He'll be back. With friends. With a plan. And when he does, I'll be ready. With bigger fists. The Wang family limped away like a parade of broken toys. Wang Fa got carried out by his farmhands, whimpering the whole way. Wang Wei walked out clutching his dead arm, radiating pure hatred. Wang Erga stayed behind because his uncle, our village chief, grabbed him by the ear for a private family meeting. The kind of meeting where legs get threatened. With the crowd gone, Wang uncle turned to me. Lin Fan, I'm sorry about my useless nephew. I'll deal with him properly. This man has been looking out for me since my dad died. He's not perfect, and he's definitely scared of the Wang brothers' gang connections. But he showed up today. He brought the whole village. That counts for something. Wang uncle, you've been taking care of me for years. I'm grateful. Really, I let the Wang Erga thing go. The kid already got punched hard enough to break bones and wet his pants in public. That's punishment enough for a lifetime. Every time he sees me for the rest of his life, he'll remember the P. That's better than any beating. Wang Fa and Wang Wei, though? That's unfinished business. Wang Wei's parting death glare told me everything. He's coming back, and next time he'll bring his gang friends. I can handle fighters, but I can't guard my house 24/7. There's no such thing as defending forever. I need a permanent solution, but that's a problem for tomorrow. Today, I've got wives to comfort. I pulled all three into my arms. Xiaoro leaned on my left shoulder. Nyunyo pressed against the right. Xiao Xiao nestled into the middle. My chest was at full capacity. Standing room only. If I marry a fourth wife, I'm going to need wider shoulders, because the current hugging infrastructure cannot support additional passengers. This is somehow both the best and most logistically challenging problem I've ever had. Xiaoro whispered, "Husband, please don't do anything reckless. The dynasty's laws are harsh. I don't want anything to happen to you." Smart woman. She knows I'm thinking about permanently dealing with the Wang brothers, and she's worried I'll catch a murder charge. In the Dalong dynasty, there's technically no death penalty. They just ship you to the front lines as arrow bait, which is basically death with extra walking. Don't worry. I'll be smart about it. She relaxed against my shoulder. Trust. Just like that. Now, about getting stronger. The system is my cheat code, but it needs fuel, marriages and babies. More wives means more God-tier rewards. More babies means more luck energy. And I need both, because today proved that raw fighting skill isn't enough. I need enough power that nobody, not gangs, not corrupt officials, not anyone, would dare touch my family. Wives are tricky though. The system has standards. Can't just marry anyone. And honestly, neither can I. I'm picky. They need to be good people. Pretty doesn't hurt either. Quality over quantity. But babies. I looked at my three wives. Specifically at their childbearing potential. All three are extremely well equipped in that department. Down boy. We have a dinner guest coming. The little cowherd, Wang Erxiao, was coming over to eat. This kid saw the whole Wang Fa invasion and ran to get help. He's like 12, skinny as a stick, from a huge family that can barely feed everyone. When I invited him to stay for dinner, his only question was, will there be enough to eat? All you can eat, buddy. His eyes turned into dinner plates, and he sprinted to go tie up his cow. Never seen a child move that fast for food. Or anything. While he was gone, I brought in my shopping haul from the city. The reaction was incredible. Nyonyo found the fabric first. Well, it's so smooth. So much softer than our rough cloth. She rubbed it against her cheek and refused to let go. Like a kitten with a blanket. Xiao Xiao discovered the food supplies and started an inventory freakout. White rice. Is this crystal rice? And so much salt. Wait, is this sugar? White sugar? You'd think I brought home diamonds. Crystal rice is the premium stuff, way more expensive than regular millet. And white sugar in this era is basically a luxury item that farmers never see. I bought it without thinking, but to them it's like I walked in with a bag of gold. But then I pulled out the jewelry box. 3 sets of everything. Jade hairpins, bracelets, ornaments, perfume sachets, hair accessories. I handed each wife their set and watched 3 faces go through the exact same sequence. Confusion, realization, disbelief, and then tears. Nyonya squealed. Xiao Xiao went speechless. And Xiaoro, my composed, strong, level-headed first wife, just stood there quietly, eyes glistening, processing everything. She wasn't just happy about the presents. She was processing the bigger picture. Her husband can forge swords that sell for 50 silver taels. The head tax mountain that was about to crush us moved. The poverty that defined our existence ending. The future that looked hopeless 4 days ago bright. And then I saw something shift in her eyes. A decision being made. A new determination. See, Xiaoro thinks in terms of partnership. I've done my part. Earning money, protecting the family, providing. Now she's thinking about her part. What can she contribute? What's the most important thing a wife can give her husband in this dynasty? An heir. A big, fat, healthy baby boy. She didn't say it out loud, but I saw it in her face. That woman was doing fertility math right there in the living room while holding a jade hairpin. And honestly, the system would love that. Babies mean luck bonuses. Luck means the universe bends in my favor. Enough luck and I become untouchable. So tonight's agenda, maximum effort. All 3 wives. No holding back. The Dragon Tiger Vitality pill wasn't just for fighting tigers. It was for this. Creating the next generation. Securing the future. Building an empire, one baby at a time. Right after dinner with the 12-year-old cowherd boy. Priorities. I noticed Xiaoro's face was red again. For no visible reason. Just standing there, blushing at nothing, staring into the distance like she was solving a math problem that involved me and a bedroom. Hey, why's your face red again? And nothing, sure. Nothing. My first wife is over there mentally planning our baby-making schedule and thinks I can't tell. Sweetheart, you're as subtle as a house fire. But I had presents to deliver, so I let it slide. I pulled out the jewelry sets. 3 matching collections of hairpins, bracelets, ornaments, the whole package. 1 for each wife. What's that? 3 pairs of curious eyes. Good stuff. I opened the wrapping. Silence. 3 women staring at actual jewelry. Real jade. Real craftsmanship. Things they never in their wildest dreams expected to own. Then the waterworks started. Again. But this time it was different crying. They weren't sad. They weren't scared. They were overwhelmed. They'd assumed they were throwaway wives, the rejects nobody wanted, picked up out of pity. Charity cases. Discount brides. And here I am buying them each a full jewelry set like they're princesses. Do you? Not like them? I was genuinely confused. In my modern world training, gift equals happy. That's the formula. Gift plus wife should equal smile, not tears. We love them. We're happy crying. Then they noticed the empty basket. I'd bought stuff for them. Food, fabric, jewelry, supplies, but nothing for myself. Not even new shoes. My sandals were literally falling apart, and I'd walked 100 miles in them. That realization hit them like a truck. Husband. Sobbing intensifies. Now they were crying because I was selfless. Before that they were crying because I was thoughtful. Before that they were crying because I was generous. At this rate, if I breathe in their general direction, someone's going to weep. I stood there completely lost. Laugh. Comfort. Cry along. My modern dating knowledge was useless. Nobody prepared me for, your wife is crying because you're too nice. There's no YouTube tutorial for this. No Reddit thread. Nothing. Thankfully, little Xiao came running back with his chipped bowl, breaking the emotional hurricane. Big bro fan. What's for dinner? Saved by a hungry 12-year-old. My hero. He looked at my wives' tear-streaked faces. Why are the sisters-in-law crying? Adult stuff. You wouldn't understand. I don't understand either, but he doesn't need to know that. So, what are we eating? I pointed at the wall where Wang Fa's planted evidence chicken was sitting, wings still broken, probably wondering how it got dragged into all this drama. We're eating that. Xiao hesitated. But, that's Wang Fa's chicken. And, consider it a delivery fee for the entertainment he provided today. Now help me pluck it. Yes, sir. The kid practically teleported to the chicken. He couldn't remember the last time he'd eaten meat. His mouth was literally a waterfall. I had to tell him to wipe his drool before it seasoned the bird prematurely. Xiao Xiao went full master chef mode. Wang Fei's chicken plus the lamb and dried fish I'd brought from the city turned into a feast. The kitchen smelled so good I think angels were taking notes. Even I was impressed, and I come from a world with Uber Eats. We sat down. Xiao was holding his cracked bowl with trembling hands, staring at the spread like he'd arrived in heaven. Holy mother of! This is incredible, then eat. I dropped a whole chicken leg in his bowl. My wife's piled on more food. This kid who usually goes hungry most days suddenly had more meat in one bowl than he'd seen in a year. He started eating. Then he started crying. Into his food. Tears and chicken mixing together. Because nobody's ever been this kind to him. His parents are too busy surviving to show affection. His siblings fight over scraps. And here's a table of people treating him like family over a meal that would be a luxury for kings in this village. Stop crying and eat, kid. When your big bro makes it big, you'll have meat every day. This is just the beginning. He nodded hard, wiped his face, then put on his most intimidating scowl, which, on a scrawny 12-year-old, looked about as threatening as an angry hamster. Big bro fan. If Wang Fei ever messes with you again, I'll handle him. I laughed so hard I almost choked. This tiny kid who weighs less than one of my shopping bags, volunteering to fight the village bully for me. The heart is there. The muscle mass is not. Then you better eat more, because right now you couldn't handle a strong breeze. Okay. He attacked his food with renewed determination. Eating for power now. Each bite was a push-up for his soul. When dinner was over, Xiao quietly took Xiao's bowl, cleaned it, and filled it with leftover meat for his family. The kid almost malfunctioned. Eating meat was already a miracle. Taking some home? His brain couldn't process this level of kindness. He bowed so deep his forehead nearly hit the floor, then carefully carried his precious bowl of leftovers home like it was made of glass. Good kid. I'm going to look after that one. Now, the important business. I looked at the darkening sky, looked at my 3 wives, cleared my throat with maximum fake seriousness. Ahem. Ladies, your husband has walked 100 miles today and is very tired. I require assistance with bathing and clothing changes, 3 pink faces, 3 shy nods. Off we go. Night 4. And tonight, we're not just having fun, we're making babies. The system wants offspring. Xiao wants an heir. And I want my luck stat to go through the roof. Operation Next Generation, commence. Meanwhile, at the Wang family mansion, which is basically the only nice house in this dump of a village, Wang Fei was lying in bed whining like a deflating balloon. Big bro, are we really just gonna let this go? Wang Wei, nursing his shattered arm, gave the coldest laugh I've ever heard described. Let it go? I've never been humiliated like this. This isn't over. Wang Fei's eyes lit up like a kid on Christmas. But then reality kicked in. But we can't beat him. You couldn't even beat him. So how? I can't beat him. But the Sisui gang has people who can. Oh. So his plan is to run back to his gang and bring reinforcements. The classic, I'm telling my dad, move, except his dad is a criminal organization. Real brave, Wang Wei. Real brave. Can't win a fight. So you're ordering muscle like takeout delivery. Wang Fei was practically vibrating with excitement. When are you going? Tomorrow. Once my arm stabilizes. Then I'm heading to the county and across the village, completely unaware of this villain planning session. I woke up feeling amazing. Night 4 with the wives was another championship performance. The Dragon Tiger pill is the gift that keeps on giving. My wives need recovery time. I need nothing. I could go straight from the bedroom to a marathon and still have energy left to forge a sword. Xiao was already up cooking. She's always first out of bed, dedicated kitchen queen. Nuno bounced up to help, and Xiao stayed behind to help me get dressed. She insists on dressing me every morning like I'm a toddler prince. If I try to do it myself, she gets upset. Actual pouty lip, red eyes, the whole guilt package. So I just let her. This is living. Why the sigh, husband? Not a sad sigh. A happy one. Having you girls is the best thing that ever happened to me. She smiled and buried her face in my chest. I swear this woman could weaponize cuteness. Then I handed her a money pouch. Her eyes went big. Silver? What for? You're the head wife. The family finances are your department now. Look, I'm not being lazy. This is strategic delegation. Xiao Xiao and Nyonya are sweethearts, but math isn't their strong suit. You give them more than 10 coins, and their brains start buffering. Xiao went to school, came from money, understands accounting. She's the obvious CFO of this household. Plus, I literally don't care about managing money. If I need cash, I'll just hammer out another sword. My forge is my ATM. Why count pennies when you can print them? She bit her lip, nodded seriously, and tucked the pouch away like she'd just been promoted to VP of Finance. I'll manage everything perfectly, husband. I promise. I know you will, babe. That's why you got the job. After a quick breakfast, I mixed up some clay and rebuilt the forge. With 3 wives helping, the whole thing got renovated in no time. Fresh walls, sealed cracks, proper ventilation. My rusty backyard operation was becoming a legit workshop. Right on cue. Ding ding ding. Horse bells outside. Little Xiao came sprinting through the gate. Big bro fan. There's a guy with a horse looking for you. My coal and iron delivery. The ancient Amazon Prime had arrived. 1 day late because the driver was sick, but hey, better than never. A gray-haired cart driver pulled up with a horse loaded with raw materials, plus 2 armed escorts from the Coal and Iron Bureau, who also doubled as payment collectors. Very efficient government operation. I showed my receipt. They verified it. We unloaded everything. Coal, iron, ore, beautiful, heavy, full of potential. Xiao helped carry it all to the forge like a tiny, enthusiastic forklift. Kids earning his keep in free meals. With premium coal and proper iron, I could now forge real weapons. Not recycled hoe-head swords, but genuine quality blades. The money was about to flow like water. But I didn't fire up the forge. Instead, I told my wives I had an errand to run, grabbed a straw hat, and walked out the door. See, here's what everyone else doesn't know. I can do math too. Wang Wei got his arm broken yesterday. He needs about a day to stabilize before traveling, which means today he's heading to the county to fetch gang reinforcements. And there's exactly 1 road from our village to the county, and that road goes through a very deep, very dense, very private forest. A forest where, as we've previously established, people disappear all the time. Wild animals, bandits, accidents. Bodies in the wilderness are just Tuesday around here. No cameras. No witnesses. No CSI, Dalong Dynasty. I found a nice spot among the trees, right along the path, settled into a comfortable position, and pulled my hat low. Now we wait. Some problems you solve with money. Some with words. And some problems, like a gang-connected martial artist who tried to have your wives assaulted and is currently on his way to recruit even more people to destroy your family. Those problems you solve in the forest, where it's quiet, and nobody's watching. The forest was quiet. Just birds, bugs, and the occasional rustle of something small scurrying through leaves. Perfect peace. The kind of road where you could scream and nobody would hear you for miles. I waited. Didn't have to wait long. Hoofbeats echoed down the empty path. Loud, urgent, getting closer. Someone in a real hurry. Someone whipping their horse like every second counted. Wang Wei came galloping around the bend, 1 arm in a makeshift sling, face set in cold determination. Headed straight for the county. Straight for his gang buddies. Straight for the reinforcements that would come back and destroy everything I've built. I stepped out of the trees and blocked the road. He yanked the reins. The horse skidded. His eyes found me under the straw hat. You. Pure terror flashed across his face before he could hide it. Good. He should be scared. Going somewhere. I tipped my hat up and smiled. He knew. Instantly. Why I was here. What was about to happen. His face went through 5 stages of grief in 2 seconds before landing on bravado. You want to kill me? I'm a core member of the Sisui gang. You wouldn't dare. That's exactly why I'm killing you. If you were just some random bully, I might let you crawl away. But a gang-connected martial artist with a grudge and my home address? Yeah, you gotta go. His face twisted. This is your last chance to. I was already moving. Boom. 1 punch. Straight into his horse's head. The animal dropped like a bag of cement. Dead before it hit the ground. Sorry, horse. Nothing personal. But your rider was using you as an escape vehicle. Wang Wei tumbled off the collapsing horse, rolled across the dirt, and staggered up on 1 knee. His already broken arm screamed with fresh pain. Damn it. Yeah, that's about right. He tried to get up. I didn't let him. Dropped from above with a stomp that would have caved in a floor. He rolled sideways barely in time, eating dirt, scrambling like a cockroach under a shoe. Fight me fair. Let me stand up first. Why? I'm hitting a drowning dog, and drowning dogs don't get second chances. Was that honorable? No. Was it smart? Absolutely. This isn't a martial arts movie. This is survival. His gang would have shown up at my door with 20 fighters while my wives were home alone. Fair fights are for people who don't have families to protect. I unloaded everything. Kicks, punches, stomps. No mercy, no breaks, no dramatic pauses for villain monologues. Every hit was for my wives. For the terror in their eyes yesterday. For the scissors Xiaoro had to hide in her sleeve. For Nyonyo's trembling hands. For Xiao Xiao's frightened face. His ribs cracked under a side kick. His chest caved under a stomp. Blood poured from his mouth in sheets. He was done. Lying in the dirt, light fading from his eyes, still trying to threaten me with his last breaths. The Sisui gang won't forgive this. You'll join me. Soon, maybe. But not today. I stepped on his neck. One quick press. Crack. Silence. The forest went back to being peaceful. Birds resumed singing. Bugs resumed buzzing. Like nothing happened. I stood there for a long moment. My hands were shaking. Not from exhaustion, from what I'd just done. First time killing a person. You can talk about it casually, plan it logically, justify it morally. But when it's real, when you feel bone give way under your foot and watch someone's eyes go empty, your body reacts whether your brain agrees or not. I'm not a killer by nature. I was a gamer. A snack eating, girl texting, stay up too late playing video games nobody. And now I've taken a life with my bare hands in a forest in another dimension. But then I thought about what would have happened if I didn't do this. Wang Wei rides to the county. Comes back with 10, 20 gang members. They arrive while I'm at the forge. My wife's alone. Again. Except this time, no last-minute rescue. No lucky timing. My hand stopped shaking. I'd do it again. Without hesitation. 100 times over. I buried what needed burying. Cleaned what needed cleaning. Erased what needed erasing. Then walked home as the sun was setting. At home, 3 figures stood at the gate, waiting. 3 worried faces that tried very hard to look not worried. Xiaoro, my brilliant, perceptive first wife, knew. I could see it in her eyes. She'd figured out exactly what running an errand meant. But she said nothing. Just smiled, told the others I'd gone to handle some business, kept everyone calm, assigned dinner duty, and sewing work to keep busy hands from anxious minds. This woman is managing my household, my finances, and my emotional support system. She's not just a wife, she's a COO. Xiao Xiao had dinner ready. Nyonyo and Xiaoro were making me new clothes by hand, because they noticed my old ones were falling apart, and I hadn't bought myself anything at the city. I walked through the gate and saw this scene. Warm light from the kitchen, the smell of food, handmade clothes being stitched with love. 3 women who looked at me like the sun just rose. My hands had stopped shaking a while ago, but my heart was so full it hurt. Everything I did today, the waiting, the fighting, the terrible necessary thing in the forest, it was all for this. This little mud house with the patched walls and the leaky roof and the 3 most loyal women in any dynasty. Worth it. Every bit of it. Husband, you're back, Xiaoro finally cracked. All that composure, all that, everything's fine, energy she'd been radiating for the other wives. Gone the second she saw me walk through the gate. Tears poured out like a dam breaking. She knew. She absolutely knew where I went and what I did. And she'd spent the entire afternoon holding it together for the family while her brain was screaming. I rubbed her hair. Sorry for worrying you. It's not your fault. She shook her head so hard I thought she'd hurt herself. We didn't talk about it further. Some things don't need words. We just ate dinner and moved on. The next few days were the most peaceful I'd had since arriving in this world. No bullies. No threats. No drama. Just quiet domestic bliss. I didn't rush back to forging weapons for sale. Instead, I spent 2 days making household tools for my wives. Because these 3 absolute angels insisted on contributing to the family. They wouldn't sit still. They wanted to farm, chop wood, cook, clean, do everything they could so I wouldn't carry all the pressure alone. They literally begged me with puppy eyes until I caved. So I fired up the forge with my fancy new coal and premium iron and made them. Kitchen knives, hatchets, hoes, scissors, basic stuff. Except when a max-level legendary blacksmith makes basic stuff with premium materials, the results are absolutely ridiculous. The kitchen knife could split atoms. The hatchet went through firewood like it was wet tissue paper. The scissors could probably cut through steel beams. I actually had to hold back to make them less dangerous. If I went full power on a vegetable knife, my wives might accidentally slice through the cutting board, the table, and the floor in one chop. Nyonya was swinging her new hatchet around like a kid with a new toy. Husband, this chopping knife is amazing. Wood splits like paper now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She was genuinely happier about a hatchet than most modern women would be about a diamond necklace. I love this world. A few peaceful days passed. My heart finally settled. No regrets about what happened in the forest. Not one. But while I was living my best domestic life, over at the Wong household, things were falling apart beautifully. Wong Fa had been waiting. His big brother promised reinforcements within 2 days. Day 1, excited. Day 2, confident. Day 3, confused. Day 4, nervous. Day 5, panicking. Day 6, full meltdown. Because Wang Wei never came back. And he never sent word. He just vanished. Wang Fa kept telling himself excuses. Big bro's busy with gang stuff. He probably got delayed. Any minute now he'll ride in with a whole army. But deep down, that little worm of doubt was eating him alive. Because the last time anyone saw Wang Wei, he was heading down a road that went through a very empty, very quiet forest. The same forest where people sometimes disappear. Then, on day 7, 2 visitors showed up at the Wang mansion. Big guys. Muscular. Cold eyes. Dripping with, I will end you, energy. Sisui gang investigators. Wang Wei had taken a 3-day leave from the gang. It had been 7 days. No contact. No sightings. In the martial arts world, that usually means one thing. Somebody got to him. When did you last see Wang Wei? They demanded. Wang Fa stuttered out an answer. 6 days ago. Wang Wei never returned to the gang after coming here. We believe he may have been killed. Wang Fa's brain short-circuited. His dad, old man Wang Yukai, the village landlord who bragged about his prodigy son to everyone within earshot, nearly fainted on the spot. His golden boy, his pride and joy, his retirement plan, gone. Impossible. And oh, the old man wailed. Shut up, the investigators snapped. Zero patience for family drama. Think. Did Wang Wei have conflicts with anyone? Enemies? Anything unusual? Wang Fa's eyes went wild. Every neuron in his tiny brain fired simultaneously and landed on one answer. Lin Fan. It was definitely Lin Fan. And just like that, my name entered the Sisui gang's database. Wang Fa spilled everything. The bullying, the beatdowns, the home invasion, the broken arm. How a village weakling suddenly became strong enough to demolish his martial artist brother. How Wang Wei left to get reinforcements and never came back. The investigators exchanged a look. A villager with unusual strength. They told the Wang family to keep their mouths shut, or else, and left. They're just the scouts. The investigation team. They'll go back, file a report, and the gang will send the real muscle. So, my peaceful days have an expiration date. Somewhere in a county headquarters, a criminal organization is connecting dots that lead directly to my front door. A missing core member. A suspiciously strong farmer. A motive written in broken bones. I knew this was coming. Killing Wang Wei removed the immediate threat, but it opened a bigger can of worms. The Sisui gang won't just shrug and move on. They'll come looking for answers. And eventually, they'll come looking for me. The clock is ticking. I need to get stronger. I need more money, more resources, more power. Before the storm arrives. Good thing I have a forge full of premium materials and a system that rewards me for doing what I was already planning to do tonight. Time to make some swords. And some babies. Priorities. 2 groups of people were heading for my house at the same time, and I was at the river fishing like an idiot. Let me back up. At the Sisui gang headquarters, the investigators reported back to the vice boss, a short guy with arms like tree trunks. The kind of man who skipped leg day, but never skipped arm day. Ever. His reaction to hearing about me? Some farmer who can punch hard? That's cute. Lou Protector, go grab him. Bring him to me alive. I'll interrogate him personally. Lou Protector is a peak third-rate martial artist. That's apparently a huge step above regular third-rate. Wang Wei, the guy I buried in a forest, was regular third-rate, and this Lou guy could apparently beat 10 of him. So they sent their heavy hitter, plus a squad of gang thugs, marching straight toward my village. Cool. Cool. That's fine. Everything's fine. Meanwhile, I was sitting by the river with little Xiao, holding a bamboo fishing rod, completely unaware that a small army was coming to kidnap me. Big bro, I dug up the worms. Good kid. Let's go. Peaceful afternoon. No pollution in this world means the river is absolutely loaded with fish. Crystal clear water, fat fish everywhere, gentle breeze. The kind of scene you'd put on a postcard. Completely at odds with the murder squad approaching from the east. But also approaching my house, from a different direction, was a much friendlier group. While I was fishing and my wives were sewing clothes at home, someone knocked on the gate. Nyonyo opened up and found an old man leading the group, a beautiful young woman beside him, and 2 servants behind them. One of those servants was the second manager from the Divine Arms Pavilion, the same guy who bought my sword for 50 taels. Except now he was dressed as a servant, carrying bags, looking humble. If the second manager of a massive weapons corporation is playing butler, whoever he's serving must be absolutely terrifying in terms of status. These were the people searching for the lost blacksmithing technique, master. Remember when that white-haired elder at the pavilion detected my 100 forge method and ordered a sketch of my face? Well, they finally tracked me down. Took them a while, but here they were, knocking on my door. Nyonyo was nervous. Who are you looking for? Is this Lin Fan's residence? She got cautious, smart girl. But lying was pointless since they'd obviously asked around the village already. Yes. What do you want with him? Just some questions. No ill intent. Sharo came out and immediately went into CEO mode. One look and she assessed the whole group. Wealthy, important, potentially dangerous. She cross-examined them like a lawyer. The second manager stepped forward with his most harmless smile. Ma'am, I actually did business with your husband recently. He sold me a sword. We're from the Divine Arms Pavilion. Sharo's guard dropped slightly. The Divine Arms Pavilion is basically the most reputable business in the Empire. If they wanted to rob us, they wouldn't knock politely and bring gifts. She let them in, sent Xiao Xiao to find me at the river, and went to prepare tea. Good hospitality. Good instincts. The visitors sat down and casually looked around the yard. Nothing impressive, just a mud house, some tools, a forge, and Nyonyo sitting in the corner chopping firewood because she's too shy for social situations. And then something magical happened. The old man, the VIP of the group, watched Nyonyo chop wood. At first, just idle observation. But then his eyes locked on. Because the firewood she was splitting wasn't normal firewood. It was hardwood. Dense, tough. The kind of wood that makes your arms ache after 3 swings. Nyonyo was cutting through it like cotton candy. One gentle swing. Clean split. No effort. The hatchet went through solid wood like it wasn't even there. That's because her hatchet was forged by me. A max-level legendary blacksmith using premium materials. I actually held back so it wouldn't be too sharp. And it was still cutting hardwood like paper. The old man leaped out of his seat. Young lady, may I please examine that hatchet? Nyonyo blinked, confused. It's just a chopping tool. Old man, calm down. But she's sweet, so she handed it over. He held it like it was a newborn baby. Ran his fingers along the edge. Tapped the blade. Listened to the ring of the metal. His hands were trembling. And then he whispered, in a voice shaking with pure shock, "This is the 1000 Forge technique. The legendary method that only a god-tier blacksmith can master." Wait, 1000 Forge? Last time they said 100 Forge. My sword used the 100 Forge technique. But a simple hatchet, made with better materials and a more relaxed approach, apparently demonstrated an even higher level of forging mastery. I upgraded my own technique without even realizing it. And I wasn't even home to enjoy the moment. I was at the river, arguing with Xiao about which worm was fattest. Somewhere between selling recycled garden tools and making my wife a kitchen knife, I accidentally became the greatest blacksmith alive. And the most powerful weapons organization in the Empire just discovered proof of it. In a firewood hatchet. In my backyard. While I was fishing. My life is a comedy, and I'm the last one to get the jokes. So while I was at the river trying to catch dinner, my backyard turned into the most chaotic episode of a reality show you've ever seen. Let me break down what was happening at my house without me there. The Divine Arms Pavilion crew was sitting in my yard having tea. The old man, who I now know is called Sword Grandpa by the young woman, and is apparently such a big deal that the entire martial arts world trembles when he stomps, was already losing his mind over Nyonyo's hatchet. See, last time they analyzed my sword, they found the 100 Forge technique, a lost method that was already legendary. But this hatchet, made with better materials and my improved skills, used something called the Thousand Forge technique. The Thousand Forge technique. That's not just a step up. That's an entirely different tier. 100 Forge makes you a great blacksmith worth recruiting. 1000 Forge makes you a god-tier legendary smith. The kind that appears maybe once every few centuries. The kind whose weapons become mythical artifacts that warriors kill each other over for generations. We're talking Excalibur level, sword in the stone level, weapons that change history level. And I used this legendary divine technique to make a firewood hatchet for my wife, so she could chop kindling more easily. The young woman, apparently some kind of important young miss from the organization, pointed out a problem. Weapons made with the Thousand Forge method are supposed to be so sharp they hurt anyone who isn't strong enough to handle them. But Nyonya was using it just fine. Sword Grandpa nearly wept with admiration. That's what makes this person a true godsmith. They deliberately sealed the blade's power so ordinary people could use it safely. They weakened the edge on purpose. He was right. I literally held back because I didn't want my wife to accidentally cut through the table. And to this legendary elder, my laziness looked like divine mastery. The second manager's brain was melting. A godsmith? An actual, real godsmith. In this world, godsmiths are basically unicorns. They show up once in a blue moon, forge weapons that become legendary relics, and usually have insane personalities. Ancient records say one godsmith was so obsessed with perfection that he literally jumped into his own forge as a sacrifice to complete his masterwork. These people are not normal. Sword Grandpa was already scheming. He wanted me to forge him a personal weapon, a true divine blade that would make him unstoppable. But he knew godsmiths can't be forced. You can hold a knife to their throat, and they'll laugh in your face. The only way to get a godsmith to work for you is through favors. Make them owe you something. But how do you make a godsmith owe you a favor? They can make money whenever they want. One sword and they're rich. What could he possibly offer? Then Nyonya opened her sweet, innocent mouth. I don't understand what you're all so excited about. It's just a chopping knife my husband made. He made it in like an hour. Our kitchen knife and garden hoe are the same quality. Silence. Every single person from the Divine Arms Pavilion froze like someone hit the pause button on reality. The old man's brain rebooted. The second manager forgot how to breathe. Your husband made this, yeah? He made all our tools. I helped blow the bellows. What's the big deal? The godsmith they'd been hunting across the region. The legendary master of a lost technique. The once-in-a-century genius they'd traveled days to find. He's married. He lives here, in this mud house. And he made divine-tier weapons as household chores. Sword Grandpa was vibrating. This was it. The godsmith was real, and he was going to meet him today. But he needed a way to earn a favor. Something to make me indebted. Something to crash. The front gate exploded inward. Lin Fan. Come out and die, Wong Fa. Again. This indestructible cockroach, still wrapped in bandages, barely able to stand, came charging through my broken gate like the world's most pathetic action hero. Behind him, Lu Protector, the Sisui gang's elite enforcer. A peak third-rate warrior who could solo 10 Wong Weiss, plus a whole squad of armed gang thugs. Weapons drawn. Killing intent radiating. They came to arrest me. Interrogate me. Probably kill me. Over Wong Wei's disappearance. Wong Fa was screaming, looking everywhere for me, veins popping, spit flying. Where are you, Lin Fan? Today you die. But Lu Protector, the professional, took one look around the yard and his face went white. Because sitting there, calmly sipping tea, was Sword Grandpa. The man whose name makes the entire martial arts world shut up and listen. The man who could probably destroy the entire Sisui gang before lunch and still have time for a nap. Lu Protector's warrior instinct screamed a single word, danger. He processed the situation in 1 second. Hostile entry, armed men, threatening language, all performed directly in front of someone who could erase their entire organization from existence. So he did the only logical thing. He turned around and slapped Wong Fa across the face so hard that teeth flew out like popcorn. Wong Fa hit the ground spraying blood, missing most of his remaining dental work, brain doing the Windows shutdown sound. Wah. But you're supposed to. We came here too. The confusion on his face was priceless. He brought an army to destroy me. The army's first action was to destroy him. And Sword Grandpa? He looked at this entire circus, the gang thugs, the screaming bully, the broken gate, the terrified wives, and smiled, because someone had just delivered his favor on a silver platter. All he had to do was save my family from these thugs, and the Godsmith would owe him permanently. The universe literally handed him the perfect opportunity while he was sitting in my yard drinking tea. And me? I was 2 miles away, watching a fish nibble my worm, wondering if I should use a bigger hook. I swear, the most dramatic moments of my life keep happening when I'm not there. Wang Fa cried. Actually cried. Real tears rolling down his swollen, toothless, bloody face. And honestly, I almost feel bad for the guy. Almost. 3 times. He tried to mess with me 3 times. First time, I beat him up. Second time, I beat him and his brother up. Third time, he brought an entire gang and got slapped by his own reinforcements. Why did you hit me? He sobbed through his new ventilation system mouth. You're supposed to be on my side. Nobody answered him. Nobody cared. He was already yesterday's news. Because the Sisui gang's elite protector, this peak third-rate killing machine, who came here ready to kidnap and probably murder me, was on his knees, sweating through his clothes, trembling like a chihuahua in a thunderstorm. Why? Because he recognized the old man. Sword Grandpa isn't just some retired weapon enthusiast. Oh no, he's the Grand Elder of the Divine Sword Manor. The Sword Guardian Venerable, a supreme martial artist, the kind that sits at the absolute top of the entire martial arts world. The kind where, if he's unhappy with you, your entire organization gets erased from existence before breakfast. The Divine Arms Pavilion, that massive weapons empire spanning the whole dynasty, that's just their side business. A money-making tool for the Divine Sword Manor. Like how a billionaire might own a car wash. The Sisui gang? They're so terrified of the Divine Sword Manor that they collect protection money from every business in the county except the Divine Arms Pavilion. That's how far down the food chain they are. They're a goldfish threatening a whale. And this goldfish just kicked down the whale's friend's front door. I had no idea this was your friend's house, Senior. The protector was practically kissing the ground. This was a huge misunderstanding. That guy let us here. He pointed at Wang Fa like he was radioactive waste. Sword Grandpa didn't even blink. Friend? He's more than my friend. He's an honored guest of the Divine Sword Manor. A VIP. The protector's soul left his body. You could literally see the life drain from his face. Being enemies with Sword Grandpa's casual friend was already a death sentence. Being enemies with an official VIP of the Divine Sword Manor? That's not just death. That's your entire gang getting dissolved, your boss getting executed, and your name being erased from history. Thud, thud, thud. Every single gang member dropped to their knees. A yard full of armed thugs, kneeling in my dirt, begging for mercy from an old man drinking tea. Nyonya was shook. 5 minutes ago, these guys kicked down her gate looking like death incarnate. Now they're groveling in the yard like scared children. All because of the weird old grandpa who got excited about her hatchet. The same old man she'd mentally labeled strange grandpa who likes kitchen tools. Xiaoro came running from the kitchen and took in the entire scene with one sweep. Gang members kneeling. Wang Fa bleeding on the ground. The old man radiating power like a human nuclear reactor. Her big brain was spinning at maximum speed trying to calculate what kind of cosmic entity had wandered into our yard looking for her husband. Sword Grandpa turned his cold gaze on the kneeling gang. Zero emotion. Pure authority. I don't care what beef you have with my friend. Right or wrong, it's over. If I hear that my friend is bothered again, I will personally visit your boss Ironfly for a little chat. Now get out. Yes, 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 Senior. Understood. Completely understood. The protector was nodding so fast his neck might snap. He transformed into the world's most agreeable man. Yes, King. Whatever Sword Grandpa said was gospel. The sky is green? Absolutely, Senior. One more thing. Take this trash with you. Sword Grandpa gestured at Wang Fa like he was pointing at a bag of garbage someone forgot on the sidewalk. And make sure my friend is never bothered again. Do I make myself clear? Crystal clear, Senior. The protector grabbed Wang Fa by the collar like a farmer picking up a dead chicken and dragged him out of my yard. Wang Fa, bleeding, toothless, crying, confused, was hauled away like luggage. His feet literally dragging through the dirt. He came here for revenge. He left as a hostage. And this time, he's not coming back. Not in a week. Not in a month. Not ever. The Sisui gang won't just leave me alone. They'll actively protect me now, because if anything happens to me, Sword Grandpa will blame them. The bullies just became my bodyguards. The gang that wanted me dead will now make sure I stay alive. Wang Fa's entire existence just got cancelled. His brother is gone. His gang connections just turned against him. His father's golden boy is missing, and his backup son is now the gang's liability. Everything he built his pathetic little bully empire on, daddy's money, big brother's fists, gang connections, all of it, demolished in one afternoon. 3 attempts to destroy me. 3 spectacular failures. Each one worse than the last. And the beautiful irony? I wasn't even home for any of this. I was at the river, catching fish, while a legendary martial arts grandmaster casually dismantled my biggest enemy's entire support network in my backyard, using nothing but his reputation and a scary look. I have the best luck in any dynasty. Oh wait, that's literally the system. More wives, more luck. I married 3 women, and the universe is already bending over backwards to protect me. Imagine what happens when I marry 10. River life was good. No industrial pollution, no overfishing, no competition. Just me, a bamboo pole, a worm, and fish practically lining up to be caught. This world is a fisherman's paradise. Back in the modern world, guys spend thousands on fancy rods and sonar equipment and still go home empty-handed. Here I'm pulling fish out with a stick and some dirt worms like it's a cheat code. Xiao was on support duty, unhooking fish, threading worms, keeping the bucket. Perfect little fishing assistant. We had a nice rhythm going. Then Xiao came running over the hill, and I mean running. Everything was bouncing. It was like watching a natural disaster approach in slow motion. Husband, people, at the house, looking for you. She was so out of breath, she could barely form sentences. People looking for me? What people? Something about Divine Arms Pavilion. My eyebrows went up. The weapon shop? Coming to MY house. That's like Amazon showing up at your door because they were impressed by your eBay listing. I packed up and headed home. When I walked through my busted gate, still need to fix that, my wives immediately latched onto me like I was a life raft. Apparently some stuff went down while I was gone. They were rattled but safe, which meant whatever happened got resolved without me. I looked across the yard at the visitors. The old man, the second manager from the pavilion, now dressed as a servant, some other attendants, and a young woman I'd never seen before. Well, never seen in this form. She was breathtaking, a totally different league. The kind of beauty that has its own gravitational field, skin like jade, features sharp enough to cut, and this aura around her that felt like standing near a drawn sword, beautiful but dangerous. Among my 3 wives, only Xiao could match her, and even that was close. I was about to address the old man when this mystery beauty spoke first. It's you? She was staring at me with wide, shocked eyes, like she knew me. Do I know you? She coughed lightly, then switched her voice. Dropped it slightly, made it rougher. Brother Lin, you forgot me already? That voice. That voice. I'd heard it before. In a forest. While punching a tiger. Sword 14. My eyes nearly exploded out of my skull. The handsome young swordsman I saved from the Tiger King. He, who fought bravely and refused to use me as bait. The guy with the weird name who promised to repay me someday. Was a girl the whole time. Not just any girl. A drop-dead, gorgeous girl who'd been wearing what was apparently an incredibly effective disguise. Because the Sword 14 I met had rougher skin, a flat chest, and walked like a dude. This version had porcelain skin, curves that defied physics, and an elegance that screamed, I was raised in a palace. The changes. Significant, I managed to say, trying very hard to keep my eyes at face level. Those muscular pecs I admired during the tiger fight, those weren't pecs. That was a compression situation. A binding situation. A hide the evidence situation. And now that the evidence was unbound and on full display, I needed a moment to recalibrate my entire memory of that encounter. She smiled apologetically. Traveling as a woman in the martial arts world is inconvenient. A small disguise for safety. I hope Brother Lin doesn't mind. Totally understandable. I nodded rapidly. Yep, makes sense. Bandits, creeps, tiger-adjacent dangers. Smart move. Very practical. I am looking at your face and nothing else. And Sword 14 isn't your real name, I'm guessing. Correct. My real name is Jianling, Sword Spirit. But Sword 14 represents my goal, mysterious, poetic. I didn't ask further. Some things are better left as cool backstory hooks. Then she dropped the real bomb. Brother Len, let me properly introduce myself. I'm the young master. Well, young mistress of the Divine Sword Manor. The Divine Arms Pavilion is one of my family's businesses. Processing, processing, processing. The Divine Sword Manor. The organization that makes the Sisui gang wet themselves. The power behind the biggest weapons empire in the entire dynasty. The top of the food chain. The final boss of the martial arts world. And the heir to all of it. Is the guy I saved from a tiger last week. So you're basically a mega-rich heiress? She blushed. Actually blushed. Well, yes, I suppose rich is accurate. But I'm still young. Please don't call me an old rich lady. I burst out laughing. Whether she's dressed as a boy or revealed as a stunning woman, her personality is the same. Straightforward, a little proud, genuinely likable. The old man, Sword Grandpa, the Grand Elder, the terrifying Supreme Warrior, was beaming in the background. He'd come here planning to carefully negotiate a relationship with a mysterious godsmith. Instead, his young mistress already knew me, already owed me her life. The diplomatic groundwork was done before he said a single word. The second manager looked like he might cry from happiness. They'd scored the godsmith friendship through pure coincidence. Come inside, I said. Whatever you need to discuss, let's do it properly. Standing in the yard isn't how you treat guests. I led them inside, and behind me, I could practically hear the old man and the second manager doing silent victory dances. They'd come fishing for a godsmith as favor and accidentally caught the whole ocean. And me? I went fishing for actual fish and came home to discover that the random swordsman I saved from a tiger is actually the richest, most powerful young woman in the region, and she's sitting in my living room wanting to be friends. The next time I'll repay you, line that I wrote off as empty words? Turns out she meant it. And her version of repayment comes backed by the most powerful martial arts organization in the empire. Note to self, always save people from tigers. The ROI is insane. We went inside to talk business. My living room is basically 4 walls, a table, and enough chairs to sit on if nobody breathes too hard. The definition of humble, but you know what's hilarious? Nobody said a word about it. In fact, they were looking around my empty mud house like it was a museum exhibit. Ah yes, the minimalist aesthetic. Very profound. The simplicity speaks volumes about the master's philosophy. No, I'm just broke. There's no deep meaning. I literally can't afford furniture. But when you're a godsmith, apparently even poverty looks intentional. My bare walls have more perceived artistic value than a rich man's mansion. My wives served tea and quietly excused themselves. Sharo insisted it wasn't proper for wives to sit in on business meetings. I thought that was unnecessary, but she gave me the look, the one that says, don't argue or I'll cry. So I let it go. She's running this household with iron discipline disguised as gentle smiles. Jianling got straight to the point. No small talk. No dancing around. Just, Brother Len, did you really forge that hatchet yourself? Yep. I knew you were special when we met, but I didn't realize you were a godsmith. It's just a survival skill, really. Everyone in the room looked at me like I'd just called the sun a little warm. Jianling shook her head. Sword Grandpa, whose actual title is Sword Guardian Venerable, which I'm going to shorten to Sword Gramps, looked physically pained by my humility. If godsmith abilities are merely a survival skill, Jianling said carefully, then what in this world isn't merely a survival skill? Fair point. But seriously, from my perspective, the system just gave me this. One marriage, one skill download. Like getting a free app. I didn't train for decades or sacrifice my body to a forge. I just signed 3 marriage certificates and woke up a master craftsman. Hard to feel legendary when your power-up came from a wedding. Then Jianling introduced Sword Gramps properly. This is my family elder, the current Sword Guardian Venerable of the Divine Sword Manor. He's considered a living legend in the martial arts world, a living legend. Sitting in my mud house, drinking my cheap tea, getting excited about my wife's firewood hatchet. This man could apparently make the entire martial arts world shut up by raising one eyebrow. And he was in my kitchen 10 minutes ago, watching my wife boil water. Nice to meet you, senior, I said with a polite bow. Please, just call me Sword Gramps. No need for formalities. He was practically begging me to be casual. This terrifying supreme warrior, who makes gang leaders wet themselves, was acting like a fan meeting his favorite celebrity. Because he wants something. I could smell it. He's a swordsman who, due to some quirk of his fire-based martial arts, can't find a sword that can handle his power. Regular swords break or melt. He needs a custom-forged divine weapon made specifically for him. And only a godsmith can do that. He's been dreaming about this his whole life. And now a godsmith is offering him tea in a mud house. The man is vibrating with restrained desperation. I pretended not to notice. Leverage is best when unspoken. Then came the business proposal. Jian Ling laid it out clean. Originally, we came to recruit you for the Divine Arms Pavilion. But honestly, you're too important for that. We can't ask a godsmith to be an employee. How about a partnership instead? No tricks. No manipulation. No trying to lock me into some unfair contract. Just straight talk from a straight shooter. I liked her even more. I'm not working for anyone, I confirmed. But a partnership? With someone I trust? I sipped my tea, letting them sweat for exactly 3 seconds. I'm interested, Jian Ling bloomed. Her smile lit up the room like sunrise breaking through clouds. For a split second I actually forgot what I was saying. Just lost in that face. A face that, reminder, I originally thought belonged to a dude fighting a tiger. My brain is still processing that plot twist. Sword Gramps noticed me staring and his eyes flickered with something. Calculation? Hope. He's definitely filing that moment away for future use. Old fox. Brother Lin, Jian Ling said with a mischievous grin. I promised I'd repay you for saving my life. Remember? Repay like a gushing spring? I remember thinking you'd never follow through. H.A. Well, it's not the full repayment yet. Just a little meeting gift. She pulled out a yellow paper and handed it to me. A land deed. For a manor. Outside the county town. With grounds. Buildings. The works. Her personal vacation estate that she used when visiting the area. I'm heading home soon and won't need it. Consider it yours. She just gave me a house. Not a room. Not a shack. A full estate. Like handing someone car keys except it's an entire property. I stared at the deed. Then at her. Then at the deed again. 2 lifetimes. 2 entire lifetimes of existence across 2 different worlds. And this was my first time receiving a gift from a woman that wasn't socks or a birthday card. I'm eating soft rice. That's the Chinese expression for when a man benefits from a woman's wealth. And you know what? It tastes delicious. In my old world, I couldn't get a girl to split dinner. In this world, a gorgeous heiress just handed me a mansion because I punched a tiger for her. The system said, marry wives, get rich. But apparently, save pretty girls from tigers is also a viable wealth-building strategy. I am never walking past a damsel in distress again. The return on investment is absolutely astronomical. This is too much. I can't accept the whole manor. I said it. I meant it. Mostly. Okay, I wanted the manor, but my conscience was putting up a fight. I saved her from a tiger on impulse. Wasn't expecting payment. Taking a mansion felt like charging someone for holding a door open. Jian Ling's eyes narrowed. Brother Lin, are you saying my life isn't worth 1 estate? Oh no. She pulled the guilt card. The nuclear option of gift-giving. Refuse the present, and you're basically saying her existence has less value than some buildings and dirt. Fine. I'll take it. Good, but I'm not a freeloader. Well, I am. But I'm a freeloader with pride. So I looked at the sword on her hip and had an idea. Your sword. The material is incredible, but whoever forged it did a sloppy job. Let me reforge and refine it for you. Consider it my return gift. Jian Ling's eyes went supernova. A godsmith offering to personally reforge your weapon? That's not a gift. That's a once-in-a-century miracle. Warriors would sell their grandmothers for this opportunity. Entire kingdoms have gone to war over godsmith-forged weapons. And her sword wasn't made from regular metal. It was forged from meteorite iron. Space metal. Alien steel that fell from the sky. Already a premium weapon, but crafted by someone who clearly didn't have the skills to unlock its full potential. Giving me meteorite iron to work with is like giving a master chef Wagyu beef instead of grocery store ground meat. My hands were itching. I'd been stuck forging with recycled hoe heads and basic ore. Now I was getting space metal. Christmas came early. Sword Gramps was trembling with barely contained joy in the corner. His master plan was working. The Godsmith friendship was solidifying before his eyes. If Jianling's sword got the divine treatment today, his personal commission couldn't be far behind. Old fox, patient fox, happy fox. Here's my sword, Brother Lin. I'm in your care. Jianling presented her blade, the azure edge, with both hands, like handing over a baby. Respectful, reverent, no need to be so formal. This is just me having fun with my hands. I asked if she could help with the forge. Expected her to fumble. She's a rich heiress, right? Probably never lit a candle without servants. Wrong. She had that fire roaring in 30 seconds flat. Coal loaded, bellows ready, temperature climbing. Professional level forge management. This girl has skills. She's been roughing it in the martial arts world long enough to learn real survival abilities. Not just fighting, cooking, fire-making, the works. I caught myself staring at her. Soot-smudged cheek, focused eyes, firelight dancing across her face. She looked up and caught me. What? Is my face dirty? She rubbed her cheek with her hand, which only made it worse. Now she had a cute little ash streak across white jade skin. Nope. Clean as can be. Practically glowing. She blushed. Actually blushed. Then immediately pretended she didn't and went back to pumping the bellows with intense concentration. I definitely didn't imagine that. Focus, Lin Fan. You have a space metal sword to reforge. Stop flirting with the billionaire heiress and pick up your hammer. Speaking of which, I'd upgraded my equipment. My new forging hammer was custom-made by yours truly, using the 1000 forge technique. Heavy as sin, perfectly balanced, with a built-in stabilization effect that makes every strike land exactly where I want it. This hammer is itself a masterwork weapon disguised as a tool. I examined Jianling's azure edge carefully. Good base material. Incredible, actually. But the original smith wasted at least half of the meteorite iron's potential. Structural flaws, inefficient metal density, uneven edge geometry. It's like someone built a Ferrari engine and stuck it in a shopping cart. Time to fix that. I asked Jianling about her fighting style, her grip preference, her swing angles, how she distributes weight during combat. A truly personalized weapon needs to match the user like a glove, their body, their habits, their strengths. Only a godsmith can achieve that level of customization. She answered everything precisely. Smart girl. Then I raised my hammer and brought it down. Clang. Not a normal clang. The 1000 forge technique means every single hammer strike sends 1,000 micro-vibrations through the metal. Each vibration compresses the structure tighter, squeezes out impurities, and aligns the molecular grain. One hit from me does the work of 1,000 hits from anyone else. That's why it's called the 1000 forge method. And that's why it's almost impossible to master. Making one hammer blow vibrate 1,000 times requires inhuman precision, perfect force control, and technique so refined it borders on magic. The sound that came out wasn't the harsh clang of metal on metal. It was musical, rhythmic, like an orchestra playing a single perfect note. Each strike resonated through the forge like a song. Jianling forgot to pump the bellows. She was just watching, hypnotized, mouth slightly open, eyes glazed over with wonder. This is what they call turning decay into divine, when a craftsman's skill is so transcendent that the act of creation itself becomes art. The metal transforms under each blow. Impurities rise to the surface and flake away. The blade gets tighter, denser, sharper with every ring of the hammer. I was in the zone. Full flow state. Max-level blacksmith brain completely engaged. Every nerve, every muscle, every thought aligned toward one purpose. Making this space metal sword the best version of itself. Jianling was supposed to be helping. Instead, she was sitting there watching me like I was the most fascinating thing she'd ever seen. Completely mesmerized. Borderline enchanted. And somewhere in the back of my mind, a tiny voice whispered, she's single. She's rich. She's gorgeous. She's powerful. And she's watching you work with literal stars in her eyes. Shut up, brain. We're working. But also noted, while I was at my forge turning space metal into art and definitely not flirting with a billionaire heiress, the Sisui gang was experiencing what I can only describe as a corporate meltdown of biblical proportions. I didn't know any of this at the time, obviously. I was busy hammering meteorite iron while a pretty girl watched. But piecing it together later? Comedy gold. So, Lou Protector and his gang squad came sprinting back to headquarters like their butts were literally on fire. They burst into the vice boss's office and collapsed on the floor in a sweaty, traumatized heap. The vice boss, the short guy with the gorilla arms who'd confidently ordered my capture, looked at his elite team flopping around like dying fish and went, "What happened? Where's the prisoner?" Lou Protector, still gasping for air, face white as a ghost. "Boss, we have a problem." "Problem? What problem?" "He's a farmer. With muscles. I sent you, a peak third-rate fighter, with a whole squad." "What possible problem?" "The farmer is friends with the sword guardian venerable." Silence. "Come again." "The farmer is personal friends with the sword guardian venerable of the divine sword manor, and also their honored VIP guest." The vice boss fell back into his chair like someone cut his strings. Eyes wide, mouth open, brain blue screening. Let me put this in perspective. The Sisui Gang is a county-level operation, a goldfish in a small pond. The Divine Sword Manor is the ocean, an organization so powerful that if they sneeze, gangs like the Sisui Gang cease to exist. They don't even need to attack you. They just have to publicly express mild displeasure, and every ambitious martial artist in the country will line up to destroy you as a favor. And the vice boss just sent a hit squad to kidnap their VIP's friend in front of their grand elder while he was drinking tea. Is this confirmed?" His voice came out as a croak. "Every single person who was there can confirm. The sword venerable himself said it. To our faces." The vice boss realized something terrible. He ordered this mission. His fingerprints were all over it. When the real boss finds out, the vice boss wouldn't just lose his job, he'd lose his head. Possibly literally. And he was right to be scared, because Lou Protector, who'd already taken his punishment in the form of one terrifying encounter, did exactly what any smart employee does when management makes a catastrophic decision. He went straight to the real boss and snitched. The real boss, Iron Qingfei, Iron Legs Walks on Water, was a semi-retired old man who spent his days playing with his pet bird in a quiet courtyard, living the peaceful life, enjoying his golden years. Zero stress. Lou Protector walked in. Iron Legs smiled pleasantly. Lou Protector explained the situation. Iron Legs' birdcage hit the floor. The bird screamed. He didn't even notice. "Say that again." Lou Protector, trembling. "The vice boss sent us to grab someone who turned out to be the sword venerable's friend and the divine sword manor's honored guest." Wham! An iron leg, literally reinforced with internal martial energy to be hard as metal, kicked Lou Protector across the courtyard so hard he cratered a wall. Blood everywhere. But Lou Protector just picked himself up and knelt back down. He knew this was his punishment. One kick. Done. Survivable for a third-rate warrior. Painful, but he'd live. "Why don't you all just die and save me the trouble?" Iron Legs was screaming. Veins popping. Eyes red. This old man who'd been peacefully retired was having the worst day of his entire life. Because just days ago, the Sword Venerable had asked the Sisui Gang for a small favor, and Iron Legs had personally met him. He'd been bragging about it. "The Great Sword Venerable knows my name. We're practically associates." His proudest moment in decades. And now, within a week, his own organization had gone and kicked down the Sword Venerable's friend's door, threatened his friends' wives, and shown up with weapons drawn in front of the Venerable himself. The friendship he'd spent years cultivating? Gone. The reputation he'd carefully built? Torched. By his own vice boss. Over a beef with a farmer. Iron Legs wanted to cry. Actually cry. An old gang boss, legendary martial artist, feared throughout the county, standing in his courtyard next to a screaming bird, tears forming in his eyes, because his own people had just committed organizational suicide. Bring me the vice boss. Now, Lou Protector fled the courtyard at maximum speed, grateful to still have functioning legs. The vice boss was about to have a very bad day. Someone had to take the blame. Someone had to be the apology gift to smooth things over with the Divine Sword Manor. And there was really only one candidate. Karma is a beautiful thing. The vice boss confidently sent people to destroy me. Instead, he destroyed himself. His career, his position, probably his kneecaps, all sacrificed on the altar of, maybe don't mess with people who have friends you can't identify. And me? I was at home, hammering a sword, watching firelight dance across a beautiful girl's face, completely unaware that an entire criminal organization was tearing itself apart because of me. Being the universe's favorite protagonist is exhausting. So much drama happening in my name, and I don't even get to watch. Half a day, sweat, fire, and about 1,000 hammer strikes that each vibrated 1,000 times internally. My arms were fine. Vitality pill stamina is no joke, but my brain was cooked. Precision forging at Godsmith level for hours straight is like taking a calculus exam while running a marathon. But when I handed the Azure Edge back to Jianling, the look on her face made every second worth it. She gripped the sword and went completely still. Her eyes widened. Her breath stopped. Because the sword that used to feel like a weapon now felt like part of her arm, an extension of her body. She could sense it. Actually sense the blade like it was alive, breathing in her hand. The material wasn't quite perfect, so I could only manage a half-divine weapon. Sorry about that, I said it casually, like apologizing for slightly undercooking pasta. Jianling's jaw dropped. Half-divine. Let me explain what I did. There's a technique called spirit forging, hammering special patterns into the blade that let a martial artist channel their internal energy through it. With these patterns, a swordsman can launch actual energy attacks, sword beams, cutting waves, the whole anime package. That's what makes a weapon truly divine. The legendary swords from stories, Heavenly Sword, Dragon Slayer, they all have this. I forged those patterns into her meteorite sword. Not perfectly. The material had limitations, so it landed at half-divine instead of full divine. But even half-divine is absurd. The Divine Sword Manor, the most powerful sword organization in the entire empire, owns exactly one half-divine weapon. It belongs to Jianling's father, the current manor master. The ultimate treasure of the most prestigious sword family alive. One single weapon, and I just casually made another one. In an afternoon, in a mud house, using a backyard forge, Jianling now personally owns a weapon on par with her father's legendary blade. She doesn't have to wait to inherit it anymore. She's got her own, at her age, made by a guy she met because he punched a tiger. If she fought that Tiger King again with this sword, she'd slice it in half. No contest. One swing. 2 tiger pieces. Brother Lin, thank you. She said it with more sincerity than I've heard from anyone in 2 lifetimes. We're friends. Friends don't need thanks. And I meant it. Honestly, this was fun for me. Working with meteorite iron after months of recycled home metal was like a painter finally getting real canvas after drawing on napkins. I was grateful for the opportunity. The forge time was its own reward. Plus, she gave me a whole manor. I was still in debt on this exchange. Something shifted in her eyes when I said that. Just for a moment. A softness that wasn't there before. Then she snapped back to her usual confident self. Then we're friends. Good friends. Now that's the right attitude. They had to leave. It was getting dark, and having strange men stay at a house with 3 wives would start rumors faster than wildfire. But before they left, a small figure darted back toward me. The little servant girl. Xiao Qing. Also known as that terrified kid who screamed for help during the tiger fight. Also a girl in disguise, naturally. Because apparently every young person I meet in the martial arts world is secretly a woman. She'd transformed from a scrawny, scared boy into a cute little thing with sweet features and crescent moon smile eyes. Tiny, delicate, the type who'd cry if you said, boo, which tracks, because she literally did cry when the tiger showed up. Do you remember me, Mr. Lin? She looked up at me with hopeful eyes. How could I forget the kid who almost peed his pants running from a tiger? I did not almost pee my pants. She puffed her cheeks and pouted so hard I thought her face might pop. Adorable outrage. 10 out of 10 tantrum. Sure. Of course not. She knew I was being sarcastic, but couldn't figure out how to be mad about it. She just huffed, told me her name, said goodbye, and scurried after Jianling with tiny angry steps. Cute kid. Back inside, my 3 wives were sitting around the table in a collective trance. They were staring at the manor deed like it was an alien artifact. They'd processed the math. Their husband spent half a day at the forge. Jianling left looking like she'd won the lottery. And a property deed for an entire estate was sitting on their dinner table. Half a day's work equals 1 mansion. My sword sold for 50 taels, enough for 5 years. That was impressive. But a manor? For an afternoon of hammering? That's not impressive, that's insane. Their understanding of my abilities just jumped from, husband is talented, to, husband might be the most valuable person alive. I could see the awe on their faces. And behind the awe, something else, gratitude, disbelief. How did we get so lucky expression. For days ago, they were heading to a brothel. Now they're married to a godsmith who just got handed a luxury estate. Hey, stop spacing out and put that deed away. We're moving in a few days. This place is cozy, but it's a bit small. Especially when we have kids, there won't be room. 3 pairs of eyes snapped to me. 3 faces went pink at, when we have kids. Whatever husband says, they murmured in unison, heads bowed, cheeks glowing. Music to my ears. I grinned, scooped up my wives, and carried them to bed. New manor, new partnerships, new friendships, enemies dismantled, future secured. It had been a massive day. Time to celebrate the way the Dalong dynasty intended. Lights off, vitality pill engaged, 3-front campaign commencing. Tomorrow we start packing. Tonight we start trying for those kids. For the system, of course. Purely strategic. The luck bonuses from children are essential for my long-term survival plan. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.